That's fair. I was going to do plot highlights, but I didn't. However, I've seen this movie so many times, and I just rewatched it 2 days ago and last night.
Nice.
Because 2 days ago I watched the theatrical cut,
Okay.
and then last night I just re-listened to the audio commentary,
Nice.
and
Nice. Yeah.
most of my notes are from that.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Well, let's start with how was your Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day was good.
Yeah.
It was a volunteer planting event
That's
that
right.
I
Yep.
got to
You told me about that.
help
Yeah.
lead crews at. It's a rare opportunity for overtime for me, and also I was working with one of my best friends from work, his name is Spencer, and he rules.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool.
and he's just we see eye to eye on how we work, and we work really well together. And there's a good group of people, and it being Valentine's Day, Kylie and I have fallen into a tradition where we kind of like to do a hike. We'll hike in one of my county accessible areas, and then we
Cool.
come home and we make homemade noodles because we have a KitchenAid that can do that.
Cool.
And so last year I think was homemade Alfredo, and this year because we had tomatoes frozen from that she grew over the summer, we made a sauce out of her homemade tomatoes and threw some beef in there. And so working outside, planting, having a good old time, and then coming back and having homemade spaghetti.
That's awesome.
It was the best.
Yeah, it sounds great. Get all warm and cozy at home and
Take a nap on the
just chill.
couch.
Sure, yeah, that sounds great.
Watch some Olympics.
That's cool.
How about you?
Yeah, Mandy, my wife, is working at the floral department in Fred Meyer now. So this was like this is
Really?
her busiest day of the year was
Yeah.
yesterday. And we were going over her timeline, and she started in that department basically next month last year. So she has had exactly the fullest amount of time to prep for this event like that you could have. They just got a new like main boss there, so it was like a little bit of weird hiccups going on there, but she just worked and had like I think 6 or 7 other people, like managers, that were helping her out, and they're like a production line basically. It was like
Shit.
her employee, or like one of the people came up and was like, what does it feel like to have the entire store like revolve around your department for a day?
Yeah.
It's like
the
it's all about you
fulcrum.
today. Yeah, so she was super wiped out yesterday, but
She was the Valentine.
yes, she was. Yeah. She dressed up in all of her Valentine's stuff. She told all of her like girls that work for her dress cute, and they put like little hearts
Really?
on their faces and stuff. And yeah, super cute.
Can
I think
she
it
do
went
that?
really well.
Like, dress cute.
Yeah, she's like, we're gonna look cute tomorrow.
Yeah. If you don't look cute,
yeah,
you're no one's
going into
Valentine.
another department, man. You're going into the trash department. But I went and visited her at work. We had a little like Burgerville date in the parking lot, and she just went, I'm so tired.
It's beautiful.
I was like, you got this. It's only 2 hours left.
Yeah.
And
This is your Super Bowl.
yeah, exactly. And then we had Taco Bell.
Hell
when
yeah.
she got home.
You had BV and TB.
That's right.
in
It was
the
a lot
same
of fast
day?
food, and I definitely was feeling it this morning.
Congratulations.
Yes, it's a lot. And then what did we do? We had a Mario Kart tournament that was love themed, so we did the Heart Cup. And
Just the two of you?
yeah, just the two of us.
She's nasty at Mario Kart, right? Or
She's good. Yeah.
Okay. Are you savage? Are you
I'm good too.
dangerous?
We've been playing consistently
Okay.
since I got Switch in 2020, basically.
Really?
So that's like our main game. Our 2 games are both MK games, so Mario Kart and Mortal Kombat.
You play Mario Kombat?
Yeah.
Mario Kombat
Mario
together?
Kombat, yeah. So those are our 2 main games that we play together. We did like Diablo 3 at one point.
That's cool.
A lot of Mortal Kombat, a lot of Mario Kart.
What would Mario's fatality be in Mario Kombat?
Probably something fireball themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like jump uppercut, like your jaw off or something.
He stomps on
Yeah,
you,
there'd
and
be a
then it shows your
stomp
skeleton collapse upon itself.
Yeah.
And then you like shoot out of your own skin.
The camera rotates around and he gives the peace sign.
Yeah.
I did it.
I did it. You're gonna die.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, and then we fell asleep to watching little Deep Space Nine, which is kind of our comfort show.
That's
so,
cute.
Yeah, it was nice. And then who knows how today will go? I think today's probably sort of busy. I have no idea. It's not Valentine's anymore, but
No. It's Valentine's.
It is the times of
Yeah,
Valentine, yeah. So I don't know.
these are
Maybe
the
I'll be busy again.
Valentines.
Yeah, but I used the rest of the day to do a little bit of research for this, which was cool.
Excellent.
Um,
You might have
I
stumbled
uh,
upon something that's I'm excited to
I
talk
have a
about.
couple things that I'm
Yeah.
excited about. But I've been talking. This will be in my creative input section, but I've been talking to my buddy Matt a bunch, Doctor Movies, Matt Ellis,
Hmm.
and I'm taking a class from him.
From what podcast?
Pacific Northwest Insurance Corporation movie film
That
podcast.
sounds right.
um, yep, two cool dudes.
Very,
Um,
very intelligent.
yeah, and I appreciate that they do a lot of like scholarly research on theirs. They read articles and stuff. So I was like, sure, I'm gonna try to figure out like what some of the feedback was from this time and if there's
Interesting.
anything. Um, I mostly ended up watching YouTube videos about it, but it was some good stuff.
That's
Really
extremely
interesting.
valuable
Yeah.
because I'm approaching this as someone who's really enjoyed this piece of media. And so if you're
Yeah.
approaching it as someone who, whatever your impressions are, plus you got a full scope of holistically of how people felt about it, that'd be really interesting for me to hear.
Yeah. So I guess we should say welcome to the James Bonding podcast. My name is Andy, and I'm here with my co-host Daniel.
Hey, y'all.
We are going through the James Bond movies one by one normally, but today our subject is the 1985 Ridley Scott motion picture Legend.
Hmm.
I
Specifically, the director's cut.
correct the director's cut. Um, there's a lot of differences, and I'm excited to talk about all that stuff. But
Yes.
typically, we're talking about James Bond movies. We finished the first section of Sean Connery movies, so I threw Daniel a bone, and we're we're actually this section is called Rushing for More.
Yeah.
And Dan, you want to explain that a little bit? What our goal is?
Yeah. So this goes along with a line of philosophical conversation that Andy and I have had for almost since the dawn of our relationship, since the dawn of our movie appreciation. Our movie appreciation is what makes a favorite movie, what makes a favorite film. And I have always struggled with this idea. I've always tossed around uh, reasons why something can or cannot be a favorite instead of just allowing things to be, I suppose, which
Hmm.
I think a lot of people that I know are much better at just allowing something to temporarily occupy that space.
Sure.
But for me, I have trouble acknowledging something as something that is my favorite unless I think that unless I've had enough time spent with it. I think that's a big part for me is I have to have spent years appreciating something so that it's always going to come up in my mind, or it maybe has totally informed. This is a little bit of a spoiler for my impressions, but something that is one of my favorites probably had a substantial effect on informing my aesthetics and my tastes
Sure.
creatively. Um,
If it's with you all the time, including when you're in your creative space, like, yeah, it's
yes,
pretty impactful, and it
this
becomes intertwined with like the way that you're thinking, basically.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And between this and I was really big into German expressionist silent films like FW Murnau, like Faust and Last
Yeah.
Laugh. They really informed the lighting of my first book. It's one of the reasons why
Cool.
it's a little too dark on some monitors. Like on my monitors, it looked insane, but
Huh.
that's something I'm still learning too. Um, so this sub feature, I suppose, is an attempt for me to show some of the movies I've deemed to be my favorite to you, Andy slash Doug, and
Cool.
um, maybe gives me an opportunity to really sink my teeth into them and consider them, and then talk with someone whose opinion on the matter I truly appreciate and respect. And I could come to grips and terms with, okay, maybe this is one of my top four favorite movies, because as it is right now, my letterboxed top four is empty.
Interesting.
Since I upgraded to Pro instead of a regular, it deleted the first two that I had on there, and I'm okay with that. I
Interesting.
didn't immediately just put them back.
Why did it do that, you think?
I have no idea.
Huh.
I've heard from people who were at one level and then went back that it didn't delete their stuff. But for me, I don't know. I really don't. Maybe it's because I
Weird.
didn't have all four and it didn't recognize it as like it didn't lock it off or something.
Maybe.
Because I only had two.
Hmm.
Um,
But that's part of it too, is this letterboxed format stuff, and like I've been getting into this too, and so I think that's interesting.
yeah,
When you're saying that spending a lot of time with something, that's something that I'm like coming up against with letterboxed and like logging stuff and
yeah,
writing reviews, because as soon as I finish a movie, I'm like, I'm stoked to put it in there and give it a review, but it's like I I'm like 2 months out from having an opinion about this movie for the most
seriously,
part, and so maybe I'll write like 2 sentences, and then it's like by the time I have something interesting in my head about it, it's like who's gonna go back and look at updated reviews of stuff, But
absolutely.
I don't know, it's still interesting, and yeah,
I,
wrestling with that a little bit, but
I've changed my tactics, changed my habits a little bit. Now I'm been more frequently just updating as I
hmm,
watch
yeah,
because
yeah,
before I would just write them in a notebook and save them until the notebook was done and then drop like 200
yeah.
at once, which
Just gives you time to think about it,
it
but
really does. And
yeah,
then it would affect the score if when I'm logging it, I didn't even remember I watched it. It's like, holy
right.
shit, I forgot I watched this Will Ferrell romantic comedy from 2003.
Yeah. I think you lose also the like immediate like I want to talk to somebody about this kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like I just watched this, like is anybody else watching this kind of
Yes.
thing?
And a
But
lot of my friends can't really follow all my postings if I just drop 200. They're not going to
sure.
scroll through.
Sure.
It just shows the most recent. And so this has been activating more of the social aspect of
Hmm.
it with my coworkers, where I can see what they've been dropping, and I've been seeing what you've been dropping, and it's been really cool listening, watching you describe some of the pictures that you're watching for your class,
Yeah.
and seeing what direction that's kind of taken you, and then seeing what it's inspiring you to watch
Yeah.
on the outskirts of that.
Yeah, it's been super fun. That's kind of mostly what's driving my movie watching, other than um yeah, stuff we'll talk about at the end.
Yeah,
But
general
yeah.
interest.
Yeah, yeah.
So rushing for more, it's sort of a dumb play on words. The idea of the Mount Rushmore of,
Hmm.
that
The
uh,
four faces of what make you up as a cinephile or movie fan. Yeah.
exactly, legend, Teddy Roosevelt,
Yeah,
and so
we're
forth.
actually directly replacing each president with one of these. So at the end, you have to
Exactly.
tell me which president is legend.
What's the George Washington?
Yeah.
Still to come. And I don't know, the spacing and timing of these we will discuss. Like if we want to do like
Oh, sure. Yeah,
two of
yeah.
these in a row,
Hmm.
or do this one and then move back into Bond and then do another one, and that gives me time to choose what next movie could be.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
I mean, my plan is just offer it up to you at the end and see which way you want to go.
Okay.
So,
Maybe by the time I'm leaning in one direction, and maybe
okay.
by the time we're done with this conversation, we can.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So are we ready? Legend?
Yeah. Should we start? It seems as though before we wouldn't shy away from starting with impressions. Should we do that, or do you want to?
Sure. Maybe like I have a question here of like, what was your first encounter with this movie, kind of a thing.
I really appreciate you asking that because that is such a big part of.
I mean, it's kind of a kids movie-ish, and it came out I mean, before we were born.
It's a fairy
So
tale
it's been
for
there
sure.
since, we were able to encounter it since birth, basically.
Yes, it's
So
always been
I'm have a feeling that you've watched it very young, is my guess.
free. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So Legend was not only was one of the first DVDs I ever bought.
Cool.
There's a slew. There's like four or five that I can picture in my head that I bought around the same time when I realized I can just buy these things.
Hmm.
I can add to a collection. I was at the mall. I think I was at Electronics Boutique. I think they had a movie section there, or it's whatever was several before what's the FYE right
Yeah,
now.
there's like Suncoast and or something
It might have been the
something else in there
Suncoast,
too, but
unless it was the thing before
right.
Suncoast. I think it might have been the
But always kind of like movies, DVDs, and
movies,
physical
exactly.
media.
And I
Hmm.
remember going through there as a child with my mom and having realizing that I could have a conversation with another adult about movies, because
Hmm.
at that point I'd seen enough. My parents stole cable. Whoa. And
Nice.
would record the movies off of cable onto VHS tapes. And so we had this catalog of movies. And then I don't remember what age I was. I was probably 5 or 6, where the family was outside and they're like, "You want to come outside?" I was like, "No, actually, I'd rather keep watching these movies by this Arnold Schwarzenegger guy."
I'm doing research. This guy's really like showing me something
He's
new
really,
about the world.
and it was,
That's awesome. I have a very specific memory of that as well. Of like,
do you?
actually, I'm kind of locked in inside right now. Is it cool if I just keep watching? Yeah.
And my parents were cool with it because they
Hmm.
knew, first of all, I was a good kid, and they knew that I was locked in. They saw that I was locked in. It might have been when I first discovered Terminator and
Oh
Predator and
God,
stuff,
yeah.
Commando. I was like, what is this? I mean, I was young enough when I first saw Commando that there's an exchange between Duke and Schwarzenegger, where Duke says to Schwarzenegger, "Fuck you, asshole." And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Schwarzenegger's response is, "Fuck you, asshole."
Yeah, it's great.
And I said to my dad, "What's that mean?" And he just goes, it means I don't like you. It's like, oh man, those guys
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
like each other.
Yeah. It kind of does. Yeah.
So I was young enough to not even understand swear words when I started. So anyway,
That's awesome.
I
And I just
please.
quickly, like you introduced me to Commando too. So
Did I
there you go.
actually?
Yeah, yeah. I remember watching it together. In the beginning, I was like, he's acting like he's in a movie, right? Like on a movie set, and they're gonna go cut when the deer and stuff are coming out, and then it just kept going. It's like, what is happening? That's real. That's the real world of this movie. Okay, what are we in for?
What do you mean by that?
The beginning when he's like in his cabin and he's carrying a log on his shoulder,
Yeah,
and that image right there is like that's pretty goofy
yeah,
right off the bat. And
yeah.
then a deer walks up to them, they're eating ice cream and like touching on each other's faces. And I'm like, this is fake. Like they're he's an actor in this movie, and they're gonna go cut, and
Yeah,
then like everything's gonna break, and then they'll go into reality and it'll be like, oh, Arnold's an actor in this movie or
yeah.
whatever. But no, like their world is just magical enough that like baby deer are walking up, and
Oh, you thought
him and
it
Alyssa
was
Milano really are like father and daughter, and
you thought it was Last Action
kind of,
Hero,
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
like
I
fake
was had
movie.
Last Action Hero on my head a little bit with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And then
It's so bizarre, but
John Matrix
uh-huh.
and
Yep.
Man in Chainmail.
Yeah, yeah, the ultimate villain, a
Yeah,
schlubby dude in a chainmail
Schlubby
shirt.
Mercury.
Yep.
Uh,
Anyway, sorry.
no, no. So I had been, I guess, without even realizing it, I had been absorbing movies since such a little age. And then when I was in the mall, I ran into this guy and I started talking to him about movies. There's this interesting like connection that happened where I realized it was probably extremely formative. I have two very formative memories. I'll explain the
Hmm.
other one. Um, where I realized, oh, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, or any of that. You could just talk about these things, and your appreciation or lack there. You could just this can be something that you talk to someone about,
Yeah.
and then that is extended to all media, forms of art, and that's what I believe one of the most beautiful aspects of creation and art is it is a shared experience, no matter of background, that you could touch base with someone and learn about them through their perspective and their perception of the piece of art.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
and
true. Like I think like all these people I've worked with or interacted with, and it's like generations that are different. And there's always, just from virtue of having seen so much stuff and having an opinion on so many things, like you can connect with pretty much anybody on some kind of movie, and like some
definitely.
people can't help but like love certain stuff, and then and light up when you bring up whatever.
Yeah, and past a certain age, except for specific people who didn't have the opportunity, or the interest, past a certain age, most people have experienced movies, television, music,
Right.
what have you, pop culture in that way. Um, I bonded very closely with the old timers that used to work in my office years ago. It's one of the reasons why I ingratiated, or how I ingratiated myself, is I had a familiarity with the older music and the older movies,
Hmm.
and I could talk about that stuff with them. We could talk Blade Runner, we could talk Leonard Skinner, we could talk you know, John Prine and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a way in, and I wasn't even forcing it. It just happened.
No, if anything, it's like sweet somebody to talk to about this stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and someone who lived through it and
Right.
has
Yeah.
very
Unique perspective on it.
and so then in that moment, I think it might have been Evil Dead 1 and 2 because I had always been in love with Army of Darkness
Okay.
even since I was a little kid. Like I must have seen it because my folks were stealing cable, and so I must have seen it really young.
Hmm.
And so then in the movie store, I think I was buying Evil Dead 1 and 2 and then talking with a guy. This, looking back on it, it's like, what were you doing, guy? But
Okay.
he kind of convinced me to get Wild Things also, probably mostly and
Okay.
specifically for the Tatas,
Uh huh.
which
What
it
what year is this? How old are you?
I have no idea. I cannot
Okay.
remember still going to the mall with my mother as a child.
Yeah.
My mom, she didn't really care what we watched. So long, I don't know, she didn't really care. She
That's
wasn't
funny.
that into censorship, which
Hmm.
is pretty rad. She was kind
Yeah.
of a matron of media herself,
Hmm.
which um and I learned at some point that one of her favorite movies was Legend because she liked big fantasy. She liked the ridiculous. She liked fun, cartoony, comic booky. She liked to be swept away. She really liked that era of movies that was YA novels turned into movies.
Okay.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, Jake Olympia or whatever the hell that
Jake Olympia.
the Olymp
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson.
Jake
Jake
Olympia.
Olympia.
It's close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Percy Jackson, the Maze Runners,
Okay.
probably the Hunger Games. I'm not sure. But I don't know. And so at one point, I either was there like during that whole time and I bought this copy of Legend for my mom for Christmas, or
Gotcha.
I somehow managed to go back on my own and picked it up. But I purchased this copy and it's like really, even to this day, still like janky and falling apart with this kind of shitty holographic cover and stuff. It was
Cool.
used, but I bought this copy for my mom for Christmas, and it was the first time I had ever given that kind of gift to someone,
Hmm.
a gift of media that I knew they liked. Um,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, and you know,
Had you seen it at the point at the time, or
no,
yeah, that's cool.
no, I knew she liked it, and then that's the first copy I watched, and then you know I'd seen it a bunch as a kid, and I thought, oh, this is fun, this is quirky and interesting. Do you remember Joey Kennedy's crappy movie nights?
No, but that sounds awesome.
We used to,
I know Joey Kennedy, of course,
yeah,
but
of course. So we used to do crappy movie nights in Joey Kennedy's
cool.
basement, and that was the first one. That
Huh.
was
A
the
crappy movie. Okay.
man. Maybe it was that one, or maybe we might have traded movies with. It might have been Evil Dead 2 and then Harold and Maude because we traded Evil Dead 2 for Harold and Maude with one of our English teachers,
Okay.
and she's like, "This movie sucks." When she gave back Evil Dead 2, and we're like,
Oh my
"Harold and
god.
Maude's pretty good."
That's
Um,
funny. What a weird trade.
I know.
Yeah.
So we just started watching movies, and the way that we invited people was we kind of pitched it as crappy movie night, just a reason to have people together to watch something and make fun of it.
Yeah.
Even though just about everything was coming from my supply, and I kind of
You're like, I
secretly
kind of like
loved.
these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2, I love this movie. Legend, love this movie.
Yeah.
And so everybody's making fun. I'm just like, yeah, but look at
It's
it.
silly, huh?
Yeah, this sucks, right, guys?
But then you're also like, I am making you watch this movie.
And then yeah, and then it wasn't until college that I finally started like really speeding up my Blu-ray
Hmm.
purchasing. College, later, actually later after college when I had a good job, I was buying a lot of Blu-rays. In college, I was buying a lot of used DVDs. Um, but then college, I finally bought a nice special edition that had the director's cut,
Cool.
and it blew me away. It totally fell into the mode I was into. I was into dark fantasy. I was into Dark Souls. I was into D. Nibelungen, some the German expressionist stuff. That's
Yeah.
Fritz Lang, the story of Siegfried, which Ridley Scott references in the audio commentary for Legend.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and it just Dark Crystal. I was in that headspace because I think I was on furloughs from work, smoking a lot of drugs, and just working on my book nonstop.
Bitchin'.
Just in the middle of the night, sculpting crazy characters and stuff.
Hmm.
So then that's what reignited this more recent love, and it's just this appreciation for the look and feel of it that's just really held me through. So that's a long answer to your question.
That's awesome. The whole journey of your legend enjoyment. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
sweet.
it goes deep
Yeah, I mean,
without even
I get
realizing.
the right. Yeah, sometimes you don't think about it. It's just always been there or whatever. But yeah, you go back to that first initial encounter, and it's like, oh, my mom loves this thing,
Yeah.
where it's instantly like, oh, this has merit to it.
Yeah.
Like, this got to be something special about this. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So your guard is down anyway when you're first seeing it, and then you've had a couple resurgences with it, and that just keeps getting it deeper and deeper, like a splinter going deeper and deeper in there.
It's almost akin to a friend. Do you ever think about the friends that when you were young you thought, oh, these will be my best friends
Uh-huh.
forever, but then as late 30s, early 40s that we are looking back, like, oh, these are the friends that stuck around.
Yeah.
These are the
Yeah.
friendships that we still have.
Exactly.
It's kind of cool, and
Like a
that's the
little
same
splinter
with
bearing itself deeper,
exactly.
But
That's
yeah,
me.
it's these waves that come in further and further. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I've had that with the Bond franchise as well. Like, it goes away and it comes back, and then it's come back for a very long time now. And then yeah, we had our initial encounters in high school, and that's kind of where Doug came from.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a friend that was listening, and he's like, I need to know why Doug. And I was like, okay, I'll tell you the story, but it's like 5 seconds long. um,
And you told him?
yeah, I kind of gave him the basic rundown, but like, I mean, add anything if you feel like it. But it was, I think it was just we were sitting next to each other in math class.
Mm-hmm.
We had to do each other's papers or something, like correct each other's tests or something. And your name is written across the whole top of it. And I handed it to you, and you're like, oh yeah, what's your name, by the way? And I was like looking at my name on the paper, and I was like, it's Doug, which, I don't know where that came from, but, and then I don't even remember I think you believed me at first. And I was like, that's right there,
This is
and
different than how I remember it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been such a long time. That had to be 2004, 3.
Yeah, I was a freshman or sophomore. I think I was a freshman. So like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't remember that. If that's how it went down, I have no reason to doubt that it is.
Awesome.
But
I'm glad you have something else. Yeah.
Here's what I remember. I remember sitting in geometry class with
Okay.
Mr. Preninger? Pretzel?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Priniger or something. Mm-hmm.
And the class had kind of filled up. It was the first day, and one of the last desks was by me because they were in doubles. They were in pairs. And then you came in.
Yep.
And you kind of looked around and saw the empty desk next to me, and you come over, and you were like, is anybody sitting there? And I was like trying to be Mr. Cool for some reason. I was like, do you see anybody sitting there? And so then you're like, okay, I guess I'll sit here. And then I was like,
I do vaguely remember this part. I mean, like, this guy looks like such a geek, and I feel like I lucked into like the best spot in the class.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's exactly like what I'm going for right now.
You probably chose that spot because I was like so unscary.
Sure.
If there were any other spots, and then keeping up that trying to be cool bullshit exterior, I think I remember saying something like, you got a name or something, and you're like, no, you should give me one.
What?
And I said Doug, and then we came up with Pinkle Winklestein eventually.
Interesting.
So
Okay, so there's two. Yeah. In your story, you're coming up with it. In my story, I'm coming up with it, which is also interesting.
Which is probably a combination. Which
we
probably came to it together.
And Winklestein is yours, 100%. I feel like Winklestein you had in your back pocket for something, but
I probably got it from Legend. It's one of the fairies from Legend.
Is it?
No.
Okay, that would be mind blowing. Also, like, how'd you do this?
I know, right? It's all coming to this.
Holy shit. I don't even know where we were going at this point, but
You were
oh,
talking,
friends, yeah,
yeah,
coming into your life, yep. And then we had like another little bit something after high school, I think, and
yeah.
then
We just hung out a lot after high school. We would go see movies. You were always really good at getting me to go more see lesser known
hmm.
films. Some of my favorite, like, yeah, I saw that before everybody else knew about it,
Oh,
kind of
we were kind
movies.
of on some weird like we had like the inside scoop on a couple
We
things for
were,
some
yeah,
reason.
we were on
Yeah,
the cutting edge. We saw the Raid Redemption before
yeah,
anyone.
that's right.
We s-
Attack the Block we
Attack the
saw in the
Block,
theater before. Yeah,
uh, Black
Black Dynamite
Dynamite.
was a big one. Yep.
Yeah, we were seeing movies before they blew up and became cultural phenomenons. But
It
also,
was
we,
just the two of us basically going like, "Don't aren't movies awesome?" And
yeah,
I'm into this one genre, and you're into this one genre, and like, yeah, what else is coming out?
and we were both.
Really, some of that was like, "Oh, Tarantino's making a movie about this thing, and now all these movies are coming out, and we're gonna go watch them." But
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. And I've been noticing that it's going in cycles where physical media is informing when when an anniversary comes out, they come out with a new high definition remaster of a classic film or a cult classic,
yeah,
and then often it'll go to limited a theatrical release, and then because of that, then it gins up like an underground movement of a newfound appreciation for these movies,
mm-hmm,
like especially in like the Portland indie theater circuit. I've been
mm-hmm.
noticing because I have a friend
There's a
from
lot
work.
going on out there. Yeah,
There is, and I don't really involve myself with it out of mostly laziness of not wanting to have to like go drive across the bridge on a
isn't that
weeknight.
funny? Like Portland is right there,
It
and like
is,
what a wealth of creativity and also like opportunity. And it's like, man, the bridge, the river.
yeah,
I'd
the
rather just not
traffic,
go over there.
my age,
Yeah,
like
parking.
I'm really
Yeah,
digging what I've got going on, but
right.
I appreciate you inviting me to Shogun Assassin, and I
Hell yeah.
should have gone, but I was just not in the headspace.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we just
Which we'll
went
talk about
from
at the end as well.
yes,
So yeah, so we part of what spawned this whole thing was we would spend a ton of time at the bottom of my parents' driveway in Camas talking about movies forever and ever, and it would never end. And it was like the second you feel like it was going to end, you'd be like, "Oh, what about this one? Have you seen this one?" And then we get stuck in a thing about that, and
for
then be
another
like, "Oh,
hour.
this actor's in this other thing. Have you seen that?" And my parents' bedroom window like looks out right there, so I'm sure they heard us like a ton of times, but whatever.
I'm sure they appreciated that we're in their eye line talking innocently about
Oh, I mean, it's like
movies.
maybe yes for some of that, and then it's like 12:31 in the
I'm working
morning stuff.
tomorrow, you ding dongs.
Yeah, but they never had any like. Sometimes they're like, "Man, you guys were up late, huh?" And that was about it, you
And
know.
then whatever hostage we had with us, like one of our
Sure.
friends that
Hmm.
just couldn't hang in the same way.
Yeah, but it seems like people wanted to.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
people wanted to be into it, so
definitely.
I appreciated that. And
Yeah.
then also there was a few times of those conversations on like around your house, around like the bridge and places like that.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Which I would love at some point to do mobile recording of that, like out in one of those spots. We have to. It has to be the right thing. It has to make sense.
It
But
does. And we
I
have
think
the
that'd be cool.
technology.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. And then yeah, we revitalized it for this, and it goes deeper now. So
It
I
does.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's where Doug came out of.
Yeah.
I guess some of two convoluted stories that maybe add up to one truth at some point.
Yes, one
Uh,
broken truth
but
of
that lasted for a while of being called Doug through high school, definitely.
I still call you Doug.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've only recently been trying to call you Andy more because of like media presence,
Okay.
like the idea of media
Well, yeah, we
presence.
haven't really introduced the idea of like why or where that came from. So yeah, it is hard to.
We might have talked about it on episode 0.
I hope so. I feel like we didn't take as many opportunities to talk about like our past in episode 0, but yeah, so we're doing it now.
Yes, it's
And
important.
I still have. I want to do it in a Bond episode, but the story of how I started getting these movies, because you were there for that as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I was watching each other's like media pathway has been
mhm.
really interesting.
It has, yeah, dude. I have been thinking about it because of I don't know these classes, watching YouTube people. Like I had like 5 of those Billy IKEA shelves that were full top to bottom with discs, another shelf full of stuff. Like, I think when I broke it all down, there was over 4,600 discs.
Wow.
And then Mandy had, I think, another like 400 movies.
Yeah.
And she, when we started dating, she goes, I told my friend, like, when I start dating somebody, he's going to have more movies than me. It's like, oh, okay. That's
She called it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, sweet. That's
It's
awesome.
like first thing on the checklist. Something to
but
watch.
at some point, like, I would have become one of those guys that like talks in front of his movie collection on YouTube if I would have kept him.
Wow.
Which is for better or worse, I think. I think it's freeing for sure to have, because I've broken it all down. Like, I have a couple criterions and I have 2 like CD books of stuff that's like special to me.
Did you
including
keep the Ingmar
movies.
Bergman, or did you sell that?
I did sell that.
Nice. I
Yeah.
don't judge you one little bit. It was like,
I watched a bunch of stuff out of it, and then I was like, this is worth a lot.
it was worth everything, because it was the first step in touching back.
Yeah, that's true. It
base
was a
with
big
you.
touching base. Was it Repo Man?
After that,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
it
we went and
was.
saw Repo Man at the Clinton Street. That was awesome.
We had talked years ago about you helping me, or maybe that was it. I was going to say we had talked years ago about you helping me advertise my book and stuff, but I think that's what I had. So I had this genius idea where, because I follow the trends of prices on Amazon so closely for box sets, that I thought, okay, I'm going to buy this Ingmar Bergman, and then as soon as the price gets jacked up, because I had seen 2 sets that had of different types, I will sell one of the 2 and make double my money back.
Yeah.
Well, multiple different problems with that. It's Criterion. Criterion doesn't usually fluctuate that much when it comes to the big box sets, and because they never really allow things to go out of print.
Yeah, except for those ones that have, and then those are like, you're not going to buy that on Amazon.
Yeah, right. Those are, yeah, that's a good point. I think my point still stands for like the newer ones though. And if there's a certain popularity, then they keep printing them.
Yeah.
And to be a seller on Amazon, you have to be a consistent seller. You can't just sell one thing every once in a while. You have to sell a certain
you need
amount of things a
reviews and
month.
stuff, or people aren't going to trust that you're a real person.
Exactly. And so it just wasn't worth it. The scheme had fallen apart. So I needed a place to offload this box set. And I knew just kind of out of nowhere, I think I reached out to you. I was like, hey, man.
Would you want this?
Do you want this?
I think we talked about it at the screening, the Clinton Street.
I think so.
Man. You're like, would you want that? And I was like, I've been dreaming about that box set.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So and then that kind of revitalized this whole thing. And you're living up to your word in a way different than I was expecting. We are doing this project together, and together we're talking about our individual creative pursuits, which is also getting it out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Which
is funny.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's better than what I had in mind. Just Instagram posts and stuff.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's kind of, but I didn't know, so I was like, I don't. And we'll be talking all through the next creation of my next book. It'll be happening right outside these curtains.
Nice.
We'll walk past it anytime we want to record.
Nice. That's awesome.
Which will be cool.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Legend?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Sounds good. But I mean, so I think I have a natural transition.
Oh, please.
One of the main topics of our conversations at the bottom of the driveway was freaking Ridley Scott and his different cuts, and how that's just like a thing that he does. And kind of what I was realizing in researching this was most of that is due to poor test screenings.
Yeah.
Be some horrible test screening where people are like, what in the world was that? And then everyone loses any confidence in everything they did and are like, oh my God, we have to do a new soundtrack for this. Oh my God, we got to do a version where Harrison Ford talks over everything. Like, I think the main one was Kingdom of Heaven for us.
Yes.
And that spawned a bit of ours that I like, which was Ridley and Tony Scott talking to each other about the movies they're going to make when they grow up.
What?
To adults.
This is a bit of ours?
Yeah, baby Ridley and baby Tony. And like, I like race cars. And Ridley's like, I like wobots. Because also their movies are kind of those like kid genres that are like done as a full production
Yeah.
adult grown up mind, like, but they're super dark. But
Holy
like, yeah, it's like
shit.
robots and race cars and jet fighters and
Yeah.
knights and Napoleon,
Wow.
I guess.
Yeah, plus Napoleon. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's really funny.
and just also having that conversation of like who's better. Like you can forever have that conversation, because they both have done so much crazy stuff.
I think
Like,
there's an answer.
you have the answer.
I think so. I think it's
Well,
Ridley.
it's probably Ridley.
Well, there is an unfair advantage
What, that
happening
he
that
didn't
one
die?
person is still
Oh,
has a
fair
creative
enough.
output. But if
Um,
you look at the tent poles of both directors, I mean, I love a handful of Tony Scott movies,
yeah,
but
and they look unlike anything. They
they
look
do,
incredible.
they
Yeah.
do. And there's a couple movies I'm still like like saving for myself, like
Hmm.
Deja Vu. I'm really excited to watch.
Gotcha.
But I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
True Romance. I love Man on Fire.
Mm-hmm.
I even like Spy Game, and
Hmm.
I've yet to watch Days of Thunder. Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
Um, but Ridley Scott has genre-defining tent poles. He has
Yeah.
Alien. He's got Blade Runner.
I mean, as like a huge
Flag.
sci-fi person, like I can't argue against Blade Runner and Alien.
And it's ironic. I was having this conversation with Spencer yesterday, talking about how I guess I'm a Ridley Scott guy. I never really thought about that, but my top three Ridley Scotts are so different than what his, I think, most important films are.
Hmm.
Like my top three are the director's cut of Legend, the
Mm-hmm.
director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven, and Thelma and Louise.
Nice. Yeah.
Like Thelma and Louise, I saw very recently, and
Hmm.
I watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's one of the best movies I've seen in a very long time.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's such a left field like topic even, but
It is.
yeah, but also, yeah, it's a huge movie.
Mhm.
I think, what year is that? The 80s?
Boy, I think it's 90 or
90? Okay.
91. It's pretty early. It was before G.I. Jane, and G.I. Jane was before Black Hawk Down, which was 2001. And it was after Blade Runner. So, and Legend. I don't know what was between Legend and Thelma and Louise. Oh, I forgot. Anyway, yeah, it was like 90 or 91.
Okay. Yeah, I know Mandy loves that one. I haven't seen that one. I'm not
Thelma
against
and
it or
Louise.
anything. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
The character arc. We could talk about that another time, but
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
phenomenal film.
That's cool. Yeah, Ridley's amazing.
He really is.
And kind of a mystery, and
Yes.
there was that whole period where he was like, kids are ruining movies because they can't pay attention, and he had the like medieval movie, The Last Duel. Was that him?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Last
Yeah.
Duel.
And he's like, everybody's wrong about this, which I've never seen it. But
I have.
yeah.
And it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
He definitely goes for a Rashomon thing a little bit, where
Okay.
there's the separate.
Different perspectives.
It's kind of that, but then there is a definitive
Okay.
perspective.
Yeah. What happened?
But it's just, I guess, wow. It is like the Doug name.
Okay.
You have your
There's two stories
perspective,
and there's one real one.
and then there's the real one.
Yeah, and only Ridley Scott knows what
Well,
the real.
no, you as the audience, because
Okay, yeah.
each one is.
I just meant about the
is-
Doug story.
Oh yeah, only Ridley Scott.
Only Ridley has the secret.
I like robots. He was drawing robots next to us.
Yep.
So he started in commercials, and he was
Okay,
a camera operator in commercials for
Cool.
years. He had like 1,500, 2,000 commercials under his belt.
Jeez.
And then he moved, when he started doing Alien, he, I think, operated on Alien. I think he ran the camera because he had so much experience.
Yeah.
And
I can see
before
that.
commercials, he went to school as a designer.
Hmm.
So it's one of the reasons why his films have such cohesive looks.
Right.
Is he
And like fascinating look, like
yes.
unique and detailed,
very
and then now,
detailed,
yeah, the camera movements are also very detailed and
very.
specific and designy.
And
Mm-hmm.
he's no stranger to visual elements. He likes a lot of shit on the screen,
Oh my god.
and Legend is a great example of
Legend, I
that.
would say, is the main example
It
of
it
that.
is, but the way he describes it is, he says he says he likes to use elements a lot on screen, like for steam
Hmm.
for Alien or rain in Blade Runner.
Well, there's that whole planet they're on in Alien where it's like just chunks of shit in the air.
True,
That's just like flying through the air. That, yeah, exactly. That makes me think of all the stuff in Legend that's
right.
just floating in the air. Yeah.
And he sees it as energy.
Hmm.
Energy as in giving like a sense of movement and propulsion,
Mm-hmm.
and he also considers sound as a form of energy.
Hmm.
He's filling space in the screen with
Yeah.
elements, whether it's
I mean, you feel this 100%. Yeah.
of course, and it's one of the things from a production design perspective that I do really like about
Mm-hmm.
Legend, even though it is so maximalist.
Mm-hmm.
um, I enjoy it because it's 100% something to look at. And then when he was discussing this, he was also comparing it in the wide, mid, and close up structure, and how that changes the energy, and having visual elements moving changes the flow for storytelling. He describes it a lot more concisely than I just did. I just thought that it's a clear perspective of ideas that he's implementing with
Mm-hmm.
these assets.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, just talking about it kind of makes me think of like Starry Night, where it's
Yeah.
like there's just you got the whole thing is filled. Like there's the stars, but then it's like how are the stars interacting with everything and things are flowing through and but his are everything's moving.
Yes.
And like I see Mobius like as a very strong influence on him, but I also could see that too, like Van Gogh and like the traditional arts. Like I feel like he has a big respect for those. You can see with his framing and stuff.
Yes.
And the commercial thing is interesting because I tie him and oh no, what is his name? Fincher together a little bit
Is it because of
of
Alien and Alien 3?
maybe, but it is that I think they're both commercial directors before and music videos and are very
Mm,
visual people, and they both have this sort of like darkness to them as well,
sure.
and like immaculate like framing and immaculate like on the frame they are composing every square
Yes.
inch of it every
Yes.
single time.
And you could tell a director who's a designer because they do their own storyboards.
Mhm.
Apparently Ridley Scott, when he's on set, he's constantly drawing.
Hmm,
Akira Kurosawa used to do paintings
that's
for
cool.
some of his more definitive shots. He would do his storyboards, and then he would do acrylic or oil paintings for
Wow.
like Ron or some of his later like colored features and stuff.
Does that stuff exist, do you think?
Oh, to purchase
I mean,
or
just to
on
see, like,
display?
yeah,
Let's look into that.
that'd be amazing.
That'd be
Yeah.
wonderful. I was hoping to see some of that stuff when I was at the Tokyo Museum of like movie history.
Yeah.
I might have. I have to go look at my pictures.
It's incredible. Yeah. Like full works of art just in support of another work of art, basically.
Basically,
Yeah.
and it's just the best way for him to present. He has this vivid image in his head, and he wants to capture it on celluloid. So why not spend the evening like doing a painting
Yeah.
so that everybody could see what he's after?
Kind of reminds me of like Scorsese using like traditional painting, like just famous paintings to like frame his stuff. And like there's that shot in Shutter Island where he's holding her and she's like turning into ash or whatever. That's that painting. I can't remember what it's called, but there's two figures in gold and they're kind of like one's leaning on
Oh
top of
yeah,
each other. Oh,
yeah,
the
I
other
know
one.
that one. Gustav
Um,
Klimt, The Kiss.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So that like taking that art and then transforming it into moving images and cinema, like I love that stuff. Like
so
because
do
that's
I.
kind of my image of what movies are, right? Is every art form combined
Yes,
into the best thing it could be altogether. Yeah.
absolutely, and that's why it's the perfect art form.
Yeah, exactly.
For uh, as far as accessibility, you know, those of us who can experience all
I mean, you
five
don't need
senses.
that stuff. Like, you don't need to know that it came from something else to be impacted by it. It's just like something deep inside of me going all the way back to whenever this piece of art was made is being touched.
True, but I was
Yeah.
just like, if you can hear, you can experience.
Yeah.
Like hearing, seeing, and seeing. It combines hearing and seeing in a
Hmm.
way that a lot of other mediums don't. But to your point, yeah, I just rewatched Who's That Knocking at My Door with Scorsese's commentary,
Cool.
and that was an interesting. Like the movie itself is not very good,
Hmm.
and the entire commentary is Scorsese explaining why the film was a failure
Interesting.
artistically and why it doesn't work,
Interesting.
which is awesome because that piece of media, the singular piece of media that is Martin Scorsese speaking about Who's That Knocking at Your Door or My Door, it's one of those, is you see the scope of a man's creative trajectory from the beginning or near of making feature length films from the beginning where this is his first up to the point where he is at the point of recording the audio
Hmm.
commentary, and you get the benefit of him saying, looking at a scene and saying, oh, that almost works, now I would change this, I would use, this is what reminded me of it, I would use this piece of artwork instead because it draws these comparisons, I would make
Whoa.
this character more of a this figure, more of like a fallen angel figure, and he
Whoa.
describes him like archetypically, and then like he's just like, and it just goes to show that the his is not like a preordained talent, it's an earned talent.
Yeah.
He grew into that, like the knowledge that he has, it's just it has come from years of experience and probably of seeing billions of movies.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. That's cool. It's like a little class by Marty in there to. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really
Of course,
fun.
like he would be the one that would take it seriously enough to go like, here, I'm going to do something valuable in this commentary and like turn it
Right.
into something. Yeah.
And he,
That's awesome.
it's nice because yeah, he talks about it, maybe it's because it's first movie, maybe he does this in more of his commentaries, I'm going to find out. He talks a lot about how he grew up.
Hmm.
It's autobiographical in that he explains how he got there and like what he
Hmm.
was doing at that time. And so you get a snapshot of his life, where he comes from, and then he talks about that piece of work. He's he's not shy about being honest about it. And that's what's cool about Ridley too.
Hmm.
And all the commentary tracks I've heard of his, he's not shy. I think that's what was in between. It was Black Rain, Legend
Oh,
Black
Black Rain.
Rain, and then Thelma Louise. Um, he's not shy about being critical because he's watching it again after not thinking about it for 10 years, 15 years, and he's saying, oh, that shot works, or he's like giggling to himself about how an effect was like, oh, that's all I did, oh, and it's totally effective, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Black Rain. I think I wrote down what movies he did before this at some point.
Good. My order might be a little changed. I like Black Rain a lot.
I've watched the trailer so many times. Just the like music of it and the aesthetics of it. I'm like, yes, I'm into that.
Yeah,
Just haven't made the movie happen for whatever
it's
reason.
it's not a beloved Ridley Scott. It's a really overlooked one,
Hmm.
and it's slept on. It's a really good Ken Takakura.
Hmm.
It's really good Mike Douglas.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, Mike
great
Douglas.
together. Andy Garcia is a
Nice,
pivotal
yeah.
character in it. Um, yeah, don't sleep on that. Well, it's a good example of the movie being the trailer.
Gotcha.
The
Oh, that's good.
trailer,
That's good.
yeah,
Because if it delivers, yeah, then I'm all about it.
and
Yeah.
100% delivers
Hmm.
on that. Like everything you get from that trailer, that's what the movie is, and it's good.
Nice. I was gonna say I'll put it on my list, but it's there. It's on
It's
my
already
list.
there.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so he went to school. RS went to school as a designer and spends a lot of time with his art design team, his art direction team, and that's why his stuff is so cohesive.
Cool.
Um, what else do you have? Unless you want to just get into going like step by step, or
Yeah. My stuff starts here, and uh, all I wish for you is for you to sit and talk with me. I have written down from darkness.
yes, and well, I shall.
I thought it was funny that
No, no.
it's funny that it's another English director. We got another English movie. It's all we've done basically is English people making movies.
What if Wolfgang Peterson is English or German? We'll see.
Wolfgang Peterson. Who's
Yes,
he?
he's another one of.
Oh, that might be coming up.
Mhm.
Gotcha. It sounds well. Wolfgang is very German. Um. So yeah, I mean, my first like thoughts going into this was like director's cut. American cut, English cut. And I'm like, what are the differences? Watching this, I'm not going to find out. And I'd seen the US cut only, and I had not seen it for a really long time. So basically, I'm going in going like, is this how it's always been? You know, just like my memory of it wasn't that strong. I remember parts of it for sure. But my first note is, will these immaculate fantasy vibes hold up? And the answer was yes. Like it goes nuts right off the bat, and it just keeps going.
It gets better.
Yeah. And I also wrote the dust in the air in these shots is triggering my allergies.
That's funny.
I
didn't
did
think
start
about
to get
that.
sniffled up, but it's like all psychological. But yeah, there's so much shit in the air.
Yeah.
Just so much.
And so
And you think logistically, like, just like dump trucks of that shit just pouring in. Like that is an
tons,
incredible
probably.
amount of material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it starts. The difference between the theatrical cut and the director's cut is apparent very immediately, where the theatrical cut starts in the dark tree, and you're hanging, and darkness is just draped across a chair. You see him basically instantly. There's no reveal.
Oh, in the American cut?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
American cut.
Yeah, I looked into what the differences were afterwards, and like actually the way he looks is awesome in the beginning of the American cut. He's all black and he has like green nails.
It's a little. It's true. If that was its own separate thing, I agree with you. However, it distracts from how he looks later on.
It's a little bit
different
like,
aesthetic.
Why does he look like that?
He's got neon eyes and neon nails, and then you just see him draped across this couch and bemoaning, light in the world and being single and alone. And
it's
then
Tim Curry, and he's got that voice.
Oh, yes. But in the director's cut, I believe it does start in the darkness. It starts in his lair, but he is a disembodied voice.
Yeah.
The first shot may very well be credits is going through the forest, but then it cuts to the shot of the cutaway to the infinite space, which I love that shape. I love that shot. It's really evocative.
It's very like 70s fantasy. Yeah,
it's very much so. And you hear his disembodied voice, and he calls to his minion Blix, and then requests that Blix goes and kills the unicorns, because they are these godlike deity figures that hold lightness and goodness in the world. And so that he can thrive in complete darkness, they have to be eliminated to make light go away. And that's the setup for
this balance thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, the impulse to like hide him till later, I think, is right. And have like a reveal of like, oh, it's like he's kind of a devil figure.
Oh,
like, this guy is actually real bad. Because you're like, oh, it's a bad guy. And then slowly you're like, oh, he's real bad. Oh, he's real bad. Oh, God, look at him. He's a bad boy.
You're tantalized with, here's his hand. Here's an element of him. You see bits and pieces later on in the forest. After one of the unicorns is slain, it shows this robe, this disembodied spiritual robe drops from the trees and just hovers there, and it's wraith-like. That's a extension of his being, and I think that was really effective without showing us his true form.
Interesting.
Holding the reveal of his true form until halfway through the movie was, I think, perfect.
Yeah.
Because not only does it change the color story of the rest of the movie, it introduces the deep reds and the oranges. Like his deep red is now part of so many shots. It like changes the look of the film, that it would have strikingly contrasted with a lot of the shots earlier in the film, where it's more like greens and light, and then blues and stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I get why he's such a striking looking everything, like the makeup and just this performance and stuff. Like why you would be like, let's get this out right away. Like this is our biggest like accomplishment, like show off where the money went. But also, like it totally works in the director's cut. So this version that you bought for your mom, was that the one that had all the versions in it, or one later you found the director's cut?
I don't remember the nature of the one I bought for mom. I'm pretty sure it was theatrical, because I remember the Tangerine Dream, or American. American, because of I'm pretty sure my mom loved the score, the Tangerine Dream score, which is pretty good.
It's pretty cool.
Having rewatched it, really, really lovely little score. So that's one of the reasons that compelled me to get it for her. My Blu-ray copy that I bought years later is the one that has the director's cut as well as the American cut.
Gotcha. Yeah, and like, I mean, I'm going in. I'm like Jerry Goldsmith, Tangerine Dream. Jerry Goldsmith is amazing. Like, he did like the Star Trek music and stuff.
Really?
Like, unless I'm wrong, but
No,
I'm pretty
no,
sure
I
it
don't
is
know.
Jerry Goldsmith.
I don't know
like,
anything
doing
about
all of that stuff. So like, yeah, amazing. And but like for me, I'm like Ridley Scott and Tangerine Dream, awesome. What a great combo. And somebody pointed out that they just come off like Risky Business with Tom Cruise doing that. Tangerine Dream did the soundtrack for that.
Really?
So like, and it kind of has that. It's Vangelis and Blade Runner,
Yes,
but it's
yes.
definitely that same
Yes.
kind of like tone. And so like I get that impulse too, and I love that idea of like synth music in a fantasy movie. I mean, Neverending Story is Marauder, and it's like amazing. That
yes.
soundtrack is awesome.
It
But
really is.
the Jerry Goldsmith soundtrack is awesome. It is so good, and it is a completely different tone.
Yes.
The Tangerine Dream stuff's dark the whole time,
Mhm.
and Jerry Goldsmith is like lush, beautiful, upbeat fantasy
Yes.
stuff at the
Yes.
beginning, and then it gets into that like dark stuff. But
The way
and some of it is even like super experimental and weird.
Yeah.
Like has a weird Tangerine Dream element to it
Yes.
anyway, but is orchestral and like does the same thing.
It lends a surrealist quality to a lot of the film, and there's one section in particular in which Lily is running with the dressed figure, the all black dressed figure that's
Mhm.
like supposed to tempt her, and
Oh yeah.
it's operatic.
Mhm.
Ridley referred to the soundtrack as sweet and dramatic, but can also be scary,
Yeah.
and that works.
And that's the whole movie is sweet and operatic, but can be scary.
He looked at shooting this in Yosemite
Interesting.
because he wanted trees.
Okay.
And then he had to consider, okay, how are we going to light this thing?
Yeah.
Scaffolding, was thinking about building an entire gigantic area worth of scaffolding for lighting and everything. And it just became too much of a headache because then he was thinking the logistics of makeup and costume and getting people. And he said, you know what? No, we're going to use a very particular stage.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Do you know which stage?
I do know which stage.
Which
Yeah.
stage did they use?
I'm not sure what the name was at the beginning, but it was the 007 stage,
Yeah.
1985, and then they burnt it down.
Yes.
And then it got rebuilt as the Albert R. Broccoli
Yes.
stage.
He calls
and
it
then
the Bond stage.
The what stage?
The Bond
The Bond stage, yeah. So
in
forever,
Pinewood.
Pinewood. The stage has been used forever. Like, I think it was built for The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yes. I just read that.
Oh, funny. And they filled it with water and submarines and shit, and it's amazing. It's incredible. We'll get to that at some point, but they needed help lighting it, and they got Kubrick to help them light it.
Nice.
So they burned it down in 85, rebuild it, and then in the Casino Royale production, they burn it down again and rebuild it. And then in the No Time to Die production, they blast a hole in the wall of it on accident and have to repair it. But yeah, I was like,
Dude, chill.
I laughed so hard. I was like, oh, goddamn. Of course it's on the Cubby Broccoli stage.
Yes.
Perfect.
How perfect.
It's so perfect.
Totally on accident.
I have two more of those.
Hit me.
Two more. Well, we'll get to one of them.
Okay.
But
okay.
If we want to talk about the cast a little bit,
Please.
we'll talk about Tom Cruise in a second.
Let's.
But Mia Sara, dude.
Yep.
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 She was my first love.
Was she?
Ferris Bueller's Day
Ferris,
Off.
yeah,
I was
of
like,
course.
that girl that's a girl, and I like those.
This
And
is me
she's
learning
cute.
that.
Yeah. She's fun and she likes to skip school. So yeah, she's amazing. This is the same year as Ferris Bueller, which is crazy. 85.
Was it? Okay.
Yep. She seems younger in this.
Well, this is her first film.
Gotcha.
Ridley
So-
discovered her.
He probably was making this for a while, I have to guess.
Yeah, it started in 84.
Okay. So I was just looking at Mia Sara, going like, yeah, what's she up to these days? She's married to Brian Henson.
What?
Or she may or may not be still, but in 2010 she got married to Brian Henson.
That rules.
But do you know who she was married to before that?
Darkness.
Jason Connery.
What?
Yeah, she was married to Sean Connery's son.
What is happening?
Isn't that fucking crazy? I wrote the motherfucking son of Sean Connery, 007 baby, ring a ding ding. Like what a crazy realization.
Oh, the connections continue.
Brian Henson and Jason Connery.
She has good taste.
Yeah,
in Dads.
in Dads.
Yeah, she's got.
I have no idea. Jason was an actor. He's in a bunch of stuff,
I
but
didn't
I
know
don't
that.
know his shit at
Me
all.
neither.
But like, obviously, Brian Henson did Christmas Carol and Treasure Island, and yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But super funny.
So that is really interesting.
Yep.
Ridley Scott was talking about. He went on this really interesting rant diatribe. He was talking about the flows of the availability of actors within a certain archetype. He says that some years it may correlate somewhat to the sports world, where some years you get a good quarterback draft,
Sure.
in which he was saying some years there is just a preponderance of young leading lady actors that you could choose for your role because there's just been a uptick of them recently, and you
This
could,
certain type that is working. Yeah.
exactly, that really fit and are proven, are screen tested and stuff. But at this point, according to him, there weren't any young
84,
ingenue
85.
innocent young women that were out there moving through movies that he could draw from that pool. And so then they started doing tests, and they found Mia Sara, and he said she was unproven, but he trusted this instinct that she had, and decided to do something that's really expensive and risky. They decided to do tests for her, and it worked, and
And
she
she's
was
great.
perfect for the job. And she is phenomenal in this.
You believe all of her. I mean, some of her deliveries are a little weird, but a
Yeah,
lot of this movie is a little weird.
exactly.
And all of her stuff works. And I think, I mean, if we want to get into some plot stuff, like the difference with the unicorn stuff at the beginning is she kind of lets you know that she knows it's wrong and is like, I don't care, I'm gonna go do it.
Exactly.
And that moment's like kind of freaky, and you believe she's still sweet and innocent, but it's like, what weird like dark thing is in her right there, you know?
It's kind of interesting because they established that her character is one of she is innocent with an edge. She is a little bit more world weary than she's more aware of the world and the happenings in it than Jack is. Jack is just
at least the world of like humans.
Of humans,
which maybe that's it. It's like she's like, I'm from the world of humans. You know what? This is kind of a playground for me. I don't know if I care all that much about your rules and
that's
stuff.
interesting. You know? And I've always had a sense of like that she has, and this shows itself throughout the feature, is that she has this cunning. Ridley refers to her as her character archetype as like a manipulator, which is true. She manipulates most of the situations. Most of the characters she encounters, all characters she encounters, she manipulates. But I see it more as like this, a positive trait of using her cunning to move through a situation. And she also is headstrong and gets what she wants. Like, she seeks what she wants. She wanted to see the unicorns. Jack takes her to the unicorns. She wants to touch the unicorns. Jack says, "What are you doing?"
Doesn't do anything to stop her.
Those are gods.
Yeah.
Please quit. And she's like, "No, it's cool.
I'll sing to them."
But then, yes, even the gods.
Yeah, that's true. Come up to her and let her touch them and stuff.
You could use the word manipulation, but manipulate in maybe a positive terminology, because she, using her voice, the power of her voice, the soothing qualities of her nature, even these deity figures are comfortable approaching this human.
Yeah, that's true. It's like at the beginning too, it's like she's manipulating is kind of the right word. It kind of has negative stuff to it, but yeah, she's like doing what she needs to get what she wants. And then by the end, she's using that skill to fix what's going on and like get out of it.
Maybe it's because she is a princess.
Maybe.
Like a literal princess.
Yeah.
It is established.
Which I guess is also a change in the US version. They say she's just a lady of something. Like, you're a lady.
I didn't catch that, but I do believe that she's like a princess.
They say explicitly princess, and the directors.
Right. And she goes to the cottage where her it's like the woodcutter and his wife, they live, and she's very acquainted with them and their friends, and they're like, "Oh, you ought not be here. You're a princess. Go." And she's like, "No, this is this is the realm of the real world to me, not that bullshit. This
Mm-hmm.
is it. And then she goes and tinkers in the forest and has her little
Sings her
plaything with
songs
Jack,
and
and
mm-hmm, has a little boy that she goes and
she
kisses and
goes to her
stuff.
boy.
Yeah, her song. I mean, the music is nice, and I having not seen this version, like I'd never. I don't think the songs are in there. I don't think she sings, in the American
I
version.
think you're right. Yeah, I missed
Uh,
that, but it
but I
is.
think we've both prepared our own versions of it right now, and we'll sing it for you right
Yeah.
now.
Ta, ta,
Na,
ta,
na,
ta,
na, na, na,
ta.
na, na.
So
It's
as
not
she,
bad. I mean, I think it's nice, and she sings fine. You know.
yeah, and that's what Ridley says. He says, "Wow, we got lucky. She's a good singer. She's not a perfect singer, but she's perfect for this."
Yeah,
Where it is just like a person who has
a
a
human
sweet
being who,
voice.
yeah, can, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's not like
It's not
some op.
distracting. Yeah.
Yeah, and so as she's reaching out and touching the unicorn, Blix, uh, the right hand of darkness, shoots a poison dart and hits the unicorn in the ass, which causes the unicorn to freak out and trample away and run away. And then Jack, and that scares Lily. She comes back to Jack, and he freaks out because it's like you touched the unicorn, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why it had that reaction. But she's like, "No, it's cool." But then, like you said, she does have like a sense of remorse. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. At this point, no negative blowback to it. They just think that the unicorn runs away.
Got spooked or something. Yeah.
Then there's this ring.
Mm-hmm. Which we should talk about Jack for a
Oh,
second
please,
because
yes, 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 yes.
it's
Can't
Tom
wait.
Cruise.
Yeah,
It's 85.
yep.
He's like a pan type character. Like in the research I was seeing, like there's this like mythological character called the Green Man who lives in the woods and is kind of like it's like a ranger almost. Like
Okay,
he's of the green and he represents the forest. And
interesting.
so Jack is this in the script they called him something. There's like some name for it too, but it's something green. And so they referred to him as that. And he's supposed to be this like child of nature. And he kind of is in the space between the full fantasy realm and he's on that border between the human world and the fantasy world. Maybe he lives in the fantasy world more, but as he goes on the adventure, I don't get the impression he's like been to these places before or whatever.
No,
So maybe he just is kind of in that woodsy
I
area.
think he's just a forest boy.
Um, Tom Cruise is not allowed in our house. Just by principle from Mandy. She like cannot stand looking at him.
Really?
And then all of his weird other outside of movie stuff.
Yeah.
And I think more or less he's okay. All of his line deliveries are fine, except that first one is gross, where he's like, "I know something sweeter." Like right off the bat, it's like, "Oh
Yeah.
God."
I think
I just
that
don't think it's very natural, like coming out of him. Anything flirty coming out of him is weird, just in general. I think.
I don't usually appreciate that aspect. I've not seen a lot of Tom Cruise romance.
Mm-hmm.
This is like one of the few because I
Trying to think. Okay, there's not. I can't really think of a ton of them.
Jerry Maguire is one that comes to
Sure.
mind that I've not really seen.
Eyes Wide
Vanilla
Shut.
Sky, yeah, Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, I've not seen like I love Tom Cruise is an interesting figure in my movie appreciation career because I love a lot of Tom Cruise movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always for Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise is always great in them. Like
He definitely like
Collateral.
goes all the way, right? Like he
Yeah,
puts everything he has into
there's a
it.
naturalism that he has, and he believes it. And Ridley Scott really appreciated his intensity, even though it is in his young age, coming off of Risky Business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, part of it too is he's stuck around. He has such like a contemporary like feel to me of like he should be in a movie that takes place like present day. Um, he kind of doesn't have that fantastical element, but Jack does, and like definitely by I don't know how far in, but I start to buy it like partway
Yeah,
through.
yeah. And as a propulsive element, the protagonist isn't the most interesting part of this. He's kind of along for the ride with, for me at least, with all the interesting little characters that drive the plot more. Like he is following their lead most of the time, even though he has often tried and proven himself. He
Mhm.
is often tried and challenged and proves himself, but he still is the not the most interesting character in the movie
Sure.
by far.
Yeah.
Before I go any further, do you want me to talk about some of what they had to do for the set?
Sure. Yeah.
So, because they shot it on the bond stage, they had to move 20,000 tons of soil for
Okay.
the hills and valleys and dales, and they put up so many trees that were so massive, and they made them in the 360 that they ran out of leaves, and they had to send for several more tons of plastic leaves that had to be applied by hand. They didn't do any mats, no CG. CG didn't exist at this point, and so what they did was they had 100 feet, 50 feet tall mirrors that they set
Whoa.
up to make the forest seem more
Yeah.
vast.
Yeah.
And because of so many shots where they released pigeons and doves and stuff,
Uh-huh.
they had no way of getting them out. So
It's like a
as
forest in there. Here,
yes,
go into this crazy set. Yeah, that's
they
wild.
would just go and fly into the gantry. They would just live up in the boughs of the set and just lived up there. And every once in a while, one would like shoot down and try and fly out and would bonk into a mirror.
Oh my
Just
god.
and eventually they learned not to do that, but they couldn't get them out until they probably all burned to death.
They might have burned to
They
death.
probably all burned to
Oh,
death. Now that I
fuck.
think about it,
Shit. Yeah, I wrote down Asherton Gorton was the set designer. It's like
good poll.
incredible stuff. Like
Yeah.
you can't. It's undeniable. Like the way this movie looks is completely
Yes.
unique, and I think just lush is like the main word that kept coming up.
Lush.
Like rich and lush.
And
Everything, like the set
detailed.
design, the makeup, the music, everything is just so full.
It is a
To the
feast
max.
for the
Yeah,
eyes.
for sure.
And it's let us not be wrong, it is 90% of my appreciation for this film. It is I love the look and feel and sound of this movie.
Yeah.
The plot,
That's how I got into Blade Runner is like, what is this world that has been built?
exactly.
And then you slowly figure, I mean, it is just a detective story, but then the human robot stuff
Yeah.
is like a little extra element.
The
But yeah, it was that
transhumanism.
like, this is a full world that has been built. Yeah. And that is exactly what Legend is. And
Yes.
he's doing them on top of each other.
Yes.
Like he's begun production for Legend while he's making Blade Runner.
It's pretty incredible.
And he has a family. You know he's not talking to them.
Yeah.
Like, god damn. Yeah, he's a maniac.
Maybe Tony. Hey Tony.
Tony.
It's
a unicorn movie.
Another one.
Yeah. They tie together.
He was going for a storybook Christmas card quality. He was really inspired by Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
He was really inspired by cartoons. He referred to them as cartoons. So the animated features of early Walt Disney. He was really inspired by Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
It has that like layers of like what you would do with a cell.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And he's probably thinking about it like that too. And I know that for some of the snow elements later, he was inspired by the look of the snowy parts of 101 Dalmatians.
Interesting. Huh, that's awesome. Yeah, I read that he was trying to make a movie that his kids could watch after doing all those movies in a row where his kids couldn't watch them.
That's cool.
And was like, here's one, like, yeah, and was trying to originally was trying to adapt Tristan and Isolde.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I read that.
And then whatever, abandoned that and made up something way more original. And then eventually produced Tristan and Isolde, the James Franco one in whenever that was, 2008 or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he produced that as like finishing that idea that he had back in the 80s.
That's cool. I like that you wrap back around on that. Lily produces a ring.
Mhm.
She says, "This is for my champion, but it can't be that easy." She flicks it off. It bounces, takes a few stray bounces, and falls off of a cliff into water, which she is, at this point, she was kind of goofing on him, but he's like, "No way, I'm getting that ring, MFer." And he dives off and lands in the water. Quick note about that is so the cliff was built and they used, this is in the Bond stage still, and they used a 10-year-old Olympic diver to dive.
To make it seem bigger?
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
And the little character portraying Lily, who was still on the cliffside, that was Ridley Scott's daughter.
Huh,
They just
interesting.
used.
Yeah, that's
And
cute.
so then the diver falls in, and then all of the underwater sequence takes place in Florida. Because they wanted this pristine, clear water.
Okay.
And one of the animal handlers on set at that point was like, Yeah, there's alligators in the mud like 25 feet, uh 25 feet away. You're fine. Don't worry about
They
them. They're
don't care.
they're just watching. They're
Okay.
just and Tom did all of his underwater stunts and
Hmm.
stuff. So as he's underwater, the poison dart that had been shot into the unicorn starts to slow its pace. It's running out of fear, but then it slows and it causes it to halt. And then Blix and his little minions, they show up and they take this opportunity to rend the unicorn's horn
Hmm.
from its head, which begins a cycle of perpetual winter cast upon the land.
Hmm.
And that's what freezes the lake. Because he's underwater, he is separated from Lily and not frozen instantly. Jack must bust his way out. Um, and Blix takes the horn. Lily, she's running around. She sees them joking around about the horn. Learns, uh, but Jack is still under the impression that because Lily touched the unicorn, it's what
That's what.
cast
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
world into winter. Uh, I could just keep cooking for a little bit unless you
Yeah.
have anything to add.
No. My next stuff is up when Gump shows up.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically what happens. He's wandering, and then he runs into the Gump,
Hmm.
Hornthorn Gump, and Screwball and Brown Tom,
Uh huh.
who are the bros,
Uh huh. Little
and
fairy boys.
Una. So, oh, actually, no, they find him. He's asleep, and then Una, the little fairy, flies in. Ridley Scott, he says, nowadays to do that with CG, to do this little sprite like character on screen approaching, would cost $200,000. But me, I used fishing line and a little light bulb,
Oh hell yeah.
and we did it for like $30.
Yeah. It looks great.
And it looks great, and
Yeah.
it casts light
Yeah.
because it is
It's a
a
real
light bulb.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
casting light on Jack's face and stuff, and then the Gump shows up. And you probably did a little bit of research about David Bennett.
I looked him up a little bit. I
Okay,
know he's from something. I'm like looking at his face. I'm like, what is this guy from?
yes,
And
he is from.
I'm like, he's got to be from like Star Trek or something.
I refer to it as the Tin Cup when I was talking about it the other day, but it's not. It's like Tin Soldier. Oh, here we go. David Bennett from Tin Drum.
Tin Drum. Okay.
Yeah, it was
I
a
remember
world.
Tin Drum, but I haven't seen it. And I couldn't find anything that
I
was
haven't
like, oh,
either.
I definitely know what he's from.
I
But he
think
looks so familiar.
he does. I think he's like a full size man now.
Hmm.
I was under the impression that he had growth regulation, some
Yeah.
mal issue.
Syndrome thing. Yeah.
But RS went about it. He's like, yeah, I think growth might be psychological because at a certain, because he was getting cast for all these roles where he was supposed to look young,
Hmm.
and then at a certain point it like blasted off because he was 19 in this.
Weird. Okay.
David.
Yeah.
So he was in this film.
Is he? I think he's dubbed. Is he dubbed?
He is. Yeah,
Okay.
he's Loop. Alice, I forget her name, Loops. Not only him, but Blix. Do you know
Blix.
why he's dubbed? This is a great
No.
story.
Which one's Blix?
Blix
The evil
is,
one.
is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
evil
Okay.
goblin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was dubbed. Really loved his accent. He had this German accent that really, he's like, oh, this woodland creature from the Black Forest. He really loves that there's like different regionality to these creatures.
Yeah.
But an executive watched it and he said, he's a goddamn Nazi. You can't have a Nazi fairy.
Interesting.
And then Ridley's like, yeah, but isn't it beautiful? It's like,
I mean,
no,
the Germans did
it's a
this
Nazi.
like deep fantasy shit, like all over the place.
Yeah.
Deep dark fantasy, like
Yeah.
it totally fits. But then, yeah, I mean,
Siegfried.
there is. I mean, if he's going like, you cannot come through our woods, that's like it probably did.
What have you done, Jack?
Where are the unicorns and where are you hiding them?
Oh God. So
Okay, sure.
So the appearance of Gump, who's this like almost like a satyr character, but he has his human form. He just has like elven ears. He is like this chaotic Tom Bombadil like figure in which
Mm-hmm.
he's just like this elemental representation of the forest, but also of the Fey people,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of their leader. He's especially in the director's cut, he has this indefinable infinite power and
Hmm.
quality to him that's never truly shown. It's just felt. And
Yeah.
one of the first major tests of our character Jack is that he says, "Okay, well, it's your fault because you allowed Lily, the human, to touch the
Yeah.
unicorn."
I like that conversation where like he's kind of trying not to say it, but he does. He admits it. It's not like I don't know why this is happening.
He
He
had,
does say yes. This is what
I
happens.
think it's also a realization.
Yeah.
He's like racking his brain. He says, "Oh God, Gump, the unicorn, I
Yeah.
let Lily," and so because it dawns on him that he's at fault, or at least to his perspective, he is.
Right.
The Gump says, "Okay, well, this is your trial.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you one riddle, and if you solve it correctly, I will spare your life.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're done, kid."
Yeah. Us, all these little boys here, we're gonna kill you.
Yeah, and so
All these
there's
tiny
all these
guys.
weird little dancing critters with
Mm-hmm.
odd faces, and then the bubbles start.
Dude, I was like, God damn, really can't stop.
No, well, and
Now there's bubbles on the
that's what he
screen.
said too. He
Huh.
said, "I wanted the bubbles to imbue a more magical quality to the Gump, but
Yeah.
David's performance is so spectacular
Hmm.
that I didn't even need it. I was
Yeah.
wrong." He said I was wrong.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, every time I watched it before hearing the commentary, I liked it because it's just like, okay, another scene where there's more shit, but it's a different kind of shit
Right.
that's on the screen,
Yeah.
and I'm for it. It is distracting in the scene, but it does
Maybe
lend
a
like a
little.
chaotic, goofy, odd, magical quality to the whole thing with these weird dancing faces.
Mm-hmm.
And David Brennan's performance is incredible, and he strikes these poses with these wide eyes, even with Alice's loop, which I love the loop. I think her
Hmm.
voice on him sounds incredible,
Yeah.
and
Makes
a
him
lot of the line
otherworldly.
reads are
Mm-hmm.
great. Uh, sorry, I just talked over you.
No, I just said all the. I don't even remember. Oh, it makes him like an otherworldly kind of creature, you know?
Couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. And so then, and with that quality, he seems like you don't know how he's going to destroy Jack if Jack gets the answer wrong. But the fact that he is so certain that he can, and Jack is certain that
Mm-hmm.
the Gump can, gives this essence to the character that it gives him an extra kind of weight and an indiscernible quality of power that never truly shows itself, but is there, kind of thing. Jack gets it right. It's a good test for our character. It shows that he's clever, solves the challenge, and then they drink to some of Brown Tom's special liquor that he
Yeah,
keeps,
yeah. It's like in
elderberry
his hat or
wine.
something, right?
Yeah, he keeps
Yeah.
in his hat.
That's awesome.
And then
I
they,
do love too that it's like as soon as he answers it, like, okay, well, because it is this like build of like we're gonna kill you.
yeah,
Like
you're done.
this is it.
You're
Yeah.
toast.
And then they're like, all right, you got it. You got the riddle.
He gets it right.
Doesn't he
and
get pissed at him at first? He's like, how'd you get that?
kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
he throws a tantrum.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Which I was watching that video and they were saying that the Bluebells thing is in her song. Like she's saying it says something about the Bluebells.
And that's why he gets it?
And that's why he knows
Oh,
it. Which is cool.
That's
and
great.
even weirder that the music's not in like one of the versions of it.
That whole part isn't in.
Oh, interesting.
So that's the thing. So after the tantrum, Jack says, "I did it for love." And then he's like, "Okay, let's toast to love then."
Yeah.
Which is basically toasting to their alliance of trying, their fellowship of trying to solve this thing,
Yeah.
and to the love of Jack for Lily. In the American release, he just says, "I'm sorry I did this. I did it for love." And then it cuts to Gump like, "Okay, let's toast to love." It cuts that whole element
There's
out.
not that like sort of dark edge of, yeah, these guys could kill him.
Yes.
Like they're not getting along completely.
And I
Yeah.
love that dark edge. It
Which is cool.
makes
the
it
whole
more
world
of
feel
a,
scary a little bit.
exactly. It's more of a dark fairy tale.
Yeah.
So where are you at this point?
I'm enjoying. This is where the movie starts for me. It's
Exactly.
like,
Yes.
and now the adventure is happening.
Yes.
You get like, okay, we've set up what's going on. He's gonna go rescue her or whatever. I think it's like an hour in at this point, and it's like now the story is being. It might be like 45.
It's
minutes or
40
something.
minutes. The only reason I know that is because I was watching the director's cut last night and I paused it at that point
Oh, funny.
because I had to go eat dinner. So it's like 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, it's interesting for pacing wise. But
Yes.
yeah, at that point, I'm like, okay, here we go. I know
Yes.
what we're about. We're not just hanging out in the woods.
You
And
need-
so I'm into it. And those little guys, I'm like, oh, the little guys are cool.
Oh, I love the little
And
guys.
they go for me way back too of like, oh shit, these have got to be ILM or Jim Henson creations, right? And so I was like doing some research, and I think it is Henson. I could be wrong. No, it's oh, what's the guy's name? I wrote it down.
Robert Boutin.
Yes. But
Yeah,
they remind me 100% of the Battle for Endor aliens, like in the
nice,
Star Wars TV movies.
interesting.
Do you know those at all?
I
Like,
used to watch them when I was a kid. I
yeah,
haven't since, but I'm
you know
kind
the
of interested
little
in rewatching
teak
them.
guy that goes really fast.
That might have been one of the reasons why I fucking loved that movie as a
Yeah,
kid.
exactly. I loved it too as a kid. Camus Library used to have it. We'd rent
Yes,
it all the time.
yes.
But the little guy who used to run really fast and he's like got white hair, he looks exactly like the guy with the alcohol in his hat,
Really,
but
Brown
like
Tom?
all white instead of brown. And
Oh,
so I was like, yeah, these guys have total Ewok adventure vibes. I'm like
yes.
totally in. Yep.
And Billy Barty, who was the chairman of the Little People of America,
Yeah. Who does he play?
he's Screwball. He's the
Screwball. Yeah.
littlest one. He's the one with the squinty eye.
Yeah.
He is in three fantasy. Like I have association with him in three different fantasy films. Masters of the Universe with
Okay.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yep.
He is. I'm not going to waste time trying to remember his name. But he's a little wizard character,
hmm
and he's the little wizard teacher in Willow.
Yeah. Okay.
He's Warwick Davis's. He's whom he wants to apprentice to. The
Gotcha.
bones tell me nothing.
Yep.
Do you have any love in your heart for this child?
Funny. Yeah. Billy Barty's great.
Billy Barty's the man. This is one of the movies in which like he's my guy, you know?
Yeah.
And he's adorable and fun and perfect.
Yeah. He's got great voice. Yeah.
I think
all
he's
of
like
it's-
70 in this.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, and his physicality is pretty incredible.
He's running around.
So then they move from and I think that Lily is she perceives that Blix is talking about having killed the unicorn because she kind of was blaming herself also. She had gone to the cottage. She saw that her friends in the cottage were frozen over. So the implication is that the whole world is like that, I think. And so then she's blaming herself. She sees Blix and her little pig friend and the other guy with the blunder. They're bragging about having killed a unicorn, and they're going to use the horn to kill darkness themselves and be the true masters. And then darkness shows up.
Yeah,
and
like
then,
the little bad guys too.
Yeah,
little boys.
Little blunder is like, oh, I'm the man. He grabs the horn. He's like, I'm the man now, darkness. Take this shit. You're donezo. And then darkness is just like, fuck you. And then makes a mummy appear.
Yeah, this part is nuts.
I know.
It's so chaotic.
And he grabs him and just jumps down this hole. And then Blix is like, my bad. And then darkness says, you got to kill the Aliocorn, or this is like another word for the male version.
Gotcha.
And that'll complete the cycle. And Lily hears this and she's like, oh, fuck. Okay, it's these Nimrods that did it. And then they eventually capture her when, she runs into Brown Tom when Una and Gump take Tom to go get the sword and the armor. Something like that.
I have two notes. So
please.
one, I think, is from the Hanging Out with the Fairies, where what's the pixie girl, the one Una. I think she says, a fairy's love makes anything possible.
Whoa.
And just her like delivery of that I thought was funny. And then I wrote, a goblin said shit, got grabbed by a reanimated mummy who jumped down a hole while holding him. He said, adios amigos, and died. That was great.
He doesn't die though.
Well, sure, but he gets dropped down the hole.
Yes.
He goes, adios amigos.
What a character.
That part is so chaotic.
I know.
Hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah.
Adios. He
also,
does
these guys kind of remind me of those little guys in Blade Runner. You know, the little things that RJ or whatever his name is made. Yeah.
In his workshop.
Yeah. Interesting.
Una, so whilst he's getting the sword, whilst Jack is getting the sword in the legendary armor, because Gump, they need a hero, they need a warrior, and he's the only thing they have available. Jack is. Una reveals herself whilst in this cave, the cave of treasure, and shows that she has a corporeal body, like a full body,
full size, yeah.
And she says, "Okay, it's our secret though. Don't you dare tell the Gump." For some reason, I don't know. So his armor was just Coke and beer bottles that were beaten down and painted. The chainmail was
interesting. The chainmail looks nice.
It does. It's like scale mail. It looks really sweet.
It does, and it's what?
Coke bottle,
like the caps.
Caps, Coke and beer bottle caps beaten.
Weird.
And that's why they have like the slight serrated edging, is because of like the ribbing of. Yeah,
That's so weird.
yeah.
It
That's
looks great.
the prop guy coming through on that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Um,
I never would have guessed. Yeah, that armor and the sword, like that stuff is interesting too. It's cool.
yeah, that's like and he even says Ridley says it's the obligatory like legendary sword armor moment gotten from the cave, and that's just cool. Like here's a room full of riches, Ridley Scott's room full of riches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they move, getting towards the tree, the great tree of death, or whatever they call it. I should have written it down. There's some really killer terminology in this, but approaching it at the base, they move through this swamp, the marshes, and they
Mm-hmm.
encounter a creature called Meg
Hell
Mucklebones,
yeah.
which is this. It looks like used to be a mermaid figure that was then disfigured because of its proximity to the tree
The
of
darkness
death,
and stuff. Yeah.
or has always been a dark character. Being that it has a name gives it an eternal feeling. Like, how long has this creature been around?
Yeah. There's like a known quantity out there in the swamp.
Yeah,
Meg.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Meg Mucklebones. Everybody knows
Just don't
me.
go through the swamp. That's Meg's territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this dude, the guy who's Meg Mucklebones, Robert something or other,
Picardo. Do you
Robert
know who
Picard.
he is?
No,
Oh my god, you do know who he is.
who's Robert
He's
Picardo?
Johnny Cab in Total Recall, the robot.
What?
And then he's the EMH doctor in Voyager. He's oh god, he's in a ton of stuff, but we know him from Star Trek mostly. But yeah, he's
Oh wait, that guy, the bald guy.
yeah,
Holy crap!
and he's this weird like mermaid swamp monster.
he's
Yeah,
so good.
and he's great.
He's so good.
He's awesome.
So he's on a gimbal that's underwater, and so
Okay,
when they
I
need
can
him,
see that.
he
Yeah,
just like rips up out of the water. So he's under there holding his breath until it's like, okay, time to act, Robert Picardo.
Yeah.
Swing.
come out and be a witch.
And it's another opportunity, a test for Jack, where he
Mhm.
uses his cunning,
Mhm.
that perhaps he had learned from another element that he's learned from watching Lily. I
Hmm.
didn't put together the
Yeah,
Bluebells thing. That's really
interesting.
cool.
It
So
kind of has a Medusa vibe to it of the shield, and
yeah,
she's kind of this weird monster, and he's like, "Look at your reflection," and
distracts it with its own
Mhm.
vanity.
yeah,
And then that's kind of, she's like, you don't want to eat me, or he says, you don't want to eat me, I'm gonna be disgusting. Dear boy, you best believe I want to eat you.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the hell out of you, brother. And eventually he ends up cutting his head off, and it's just like
Yep.
this freaky, like screamy, like like grasping for its own head. It's awesome.
It is awesome. I see the picture of Meg Mucklebones regularly in my life.
What?
So at one point, I was just adding pictures of people in my phone for
Uh-huh.
contacts, and my roommate was like, "What do you want for your picture?" And she's like, "Here," and changed it to Meg Mucklebones. So
So your roommate kicks ass?
yeah, basically, yeah.
Current
So it's
roommate?
been Meg Mucklebones every like, and we have all three of us have each other on like map, whatever, so you can see where they're at. And yeah, hers is just this picture of Meg Mucklebones,
What the
wherever
fuck?
she's at.
I didn't realize Meg Mucklebones, except for just us being able to say Meg Mucklebones
As many
17
as times as we
times.
have, yeah. Does anyone say Meg Mucklebones in the movie?
Meg Mucklebones does.
Oh, okay.
Meg Mucklebones. R.S. Ridley said this character's original name was Jenny Greenteeth.
Interesting. Okay.
Meg Mucklebones is so much better.
It's good. Green Teeth's not bad either, but yeah, Meg
True.
Mucklebones is fun to say. What is a mucklebone? Don't know. It's a nice thing to say.
What is indeed a Mucklebone?
Yeah, I think like maybe that doesn't sound like it's her name. It's like that's what she's known for. Is like the little bones and stuff around her little territory are all mucky and gross.
Oh, because of all the creatures
People
she's
killed
dragged
and
into a marsh.
Yeah, Megs and her mucklebones.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's kind of the vibe
It's
I get.
evocative.
It is, yeah, and it's so funny. It's Robert Picardo, this just like goofy, like bald dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, hilarious.
Man, I need to.
I was looking at the IMDb and it's like Robert Picardo. How is that so familiar? Robert Picardo. And then it's like, God damn it, he's here again. He's one of those that pops up like over and over again in the weirdest roles. But yeah, that was so funny that it's him.
You killed it with the Total Recall cab driver. So then the next, basically what happens now is, this might be somewhat out of order, but Jack, Screwball, and Gump and Brown Tom end up falling into the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
They fall into a caged area, and then this is being intercut with Lily, who is a captive, who is in the throne room, and it's a sequence where darkness is trying to tempt her and tantalize her because
Mm-hmm.
his goal of infinite darkness in the universe is somewhat being upset by this strange feeling of lust and love he's having for Lily,
Hmm.
um, playing off of like her perceived innocence and stuff, and to the point where in the director's cut he has a conversation with his father, who is personified as this chair,
Weird.
which is awesome.
Which
There's
cut is this?
director's cut.
Okay.
I may
Okay.
have seen said theatrical, but in the director's cut, he has this conversation, this somewhat prolonged conversation with
Hmm.
this inanimate chair, but like different cuts, you see like the chair squirming and moving a little bit. You see like elements of it, like the claws that are in design elements of the arms are like grating and
Hmm.
tightening, and there's like a slight glint of eyes. So in now that we're in the tree,
Mm-hmm.
this is legend to me.
Hmm.
Like all the rest of it is also really wonderful and important, and it adds to the color story. If it was all just this, it would just be too samey throughout.
Yeah. Really
But
dark.
the severity of the lighting and the intricate detailing of the old quality to every room and in the throne room,
Hmm.
and just the production and design and the art direction, I want to live in this space forever. I could just,
Yeah.
I love the way it looks. I
That's awesome.
adore the way it looks. And so moving
So
forward,
I can see you, Daniel Darkcastle, just living in this huge, whatever, the big window out into infinite space, and
well, look at the weird small room we're sitting
I
in.
guess there's no fireplace, which I would
No, yeah.
expect. You know, big long table.
That fireplace was like 12 feet tall, apparently.
Jeez.
So yeah, so and then it's we're intercutting now between Jack in the dungeon and in the castle with Lily being tempted by darkness, kind of completely like to no end. Like
Mm-hmm.
she is applying her manipulative cunning to play him in a way that she doesn't even seem tempted for a second. But she shows as though she is. She acts as though she is. But I don't know. To me, it seems like the character is kind of like Faramir from Lord of the Rings, in which he was never tempted by the ring.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was his
No, I
quality.
think it seems like she's more scared, if anything, and is like,
Yes.
I'm going along with this, and I'm going to try to do what I can to get out of it. And yeah, yeah. Try to use my cunning.
So Una, unless you have any other notes.
I think I just have like in the jail cell
Yeah, let's go
stuff.
to the jail cell.
Um, I think, did you say Annabelle Lanyon is Una?
I did not.
Um, I something about her and David Bennett. It might be the dubbing is like so strange. Her voice is so weird. Really off kilter, and I was like, is it them or is it just Ridley? I don't know. Maybe it's just the dub. Um, and then I wrote, "Are you familiar with the Gump from Return to Oz?"
Yes.
Okay, I just kept thinking of the Gump
The
from Return.
couch.
Yeah, yeah, with
Yeah.
the like moose head.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love the gump.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Una is fine. Una is this character that serves actually as a few very important functions with throughout the story, but she's like enamored with Jack, and um, Gump tries to use his magic to open the lock, but it's iron, and that plays hell with fairy magic. Blunder, who was mummy tossed into the hole,
Yeah.
shows up and he pulls his helmet off, and it reveals that he too is like one of the Fey folk. He's just like went
Oh
looking
yeah,
for an adventure and got caught up in something much bigger than he anticipated.
yeah. Oh
And
shit.
oh shit! And it shows his slow transmogrification. Like his arm is starting to turn into a monster's arm, and half
Hmm.
of his face is turning. He's got like a feral eye and stuff, and so he becomes their ally. He actually gets dragged away by the big, disgusting pig cooks, and we assume that yet again he's toast. And then Jack says, I don't want to die in here. This is ridiculous. And then says, Una, fly out and get the keys. And Gump says, well, you're too light. She's too light. She'll never be able to carry the keys. He's like, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
She's like, you promised my secret. And then
Yeah.
she goes and she does it. She becomes human sized, gets the key for him, unlocks, and then Gump's like, what the hell, you slut.
I do like that setup of like, here's my secret, and then they get to use it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a functional aspect of the story, and she releases them. She wanted a kiss, but he's like, "Yo, my heart is held by another."
Yeah,
We
that's
have
right.
to talk about the reveal of darkness. So
Okay,
I
that's right around here.
glanced over that. You waited the entire movie. Heard his voice. You've seen his hand. You've seen representations of him with like the shrouded cloth that fell to talk with Blix. But now the reveal of his character and all of his like violent sexiness, he rips forth from this mirror.
Yep.
And his cloven hoof lands on the ground, making this deep impact sound, and his claws. And then once he reveals himself to Lily in this infinite confidence of like, you want a slice of this cake, baby.
Yeah. I'm not even wearing a shirt right now, brother.
I don't even own a shirt.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah. Like that whole look is nuts. That's a real thing that's happening on the screen.
Yeah. They built that.
Yeah.
He's standing on like 18-inch steel risers and stuff. They put him into full prosthetics, and Ridley told Tim Curry, he says, I'm also going to have to give you these contact lenses. He says, he says, you can't take my eyes. It's the last part of me.
Right.
You can't take it.
Really, you look at it and it is like every single inch is covered.
Yes. Yeah. And so then they do end up doing these contacts with the vertical cat eyes. And even Tim was like, yeah, you're right. I look fucking hot.
He does look nuts. Yeah.
Oh man. He is a very visually iconic. He's one of the most iconic visual characters in fantasy filmmaking, I would say.
The thickness of his horns and like just the size of everything is crazy. And it is crazy. There's a person in that, and it's not just like an animatronic. Right. But you watch him perform, and like when he's like laughing and stuff, you're like, oh my god, Tim Curry is so good.
He's so good.
Yeah, and great.
Ridley wanted, and he used this term respectfully, someone who could bring the melodrama, someone who could bring the theatrical.
Yep.
He loved him in
Ferngully.
Yep, that's shoot. I dropped
Rocky Horror.
Thank you. In Rocky Horror, you loved him in Rocky Horror.
His voice is like nothing else.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then one thing that Ridley talks about a lot in his commentary is the original idea was that Lily was to be slowly turning into this cat monster.
Okay.
As a visual representative of her being like turned towards the darkness, and then she has to like earn her way back again. She had to like find deliverance and earn her way back to humanity. And he was kind of bummed that didn't go through, but I think Mia Sara, as she is, especially when she is adorned in the dark
that black outfit,
oh my god,
yeah,
is very arresting and effective.
I mean, that cat stuff might have been too much going on. That whole thing with the black figure and her dancing and it like becomes her and it's really mesmerizing.
I agreed. It's a beautiful piece of like opera that you get to see, and the way it plays out, it's poetic.
Yeah. What's this is a wayside thing, but in the Bible story, the Adam and Eve, there's like a third girl that's like a fan fiction girl, whatever. I think her name is Lillian. Really? I think is like the second girl that's like supposed to be kind of evil, and she's like with the devil and stuff, which is interesting because this has like the girl goes into the Garden of Eden and disrupts the balance of things and brings about, knowledge and evil and stuff. Like the Garden of Eden story kind of is that unicorn story.
I totally see it now.
Yeah.
I hadn't put that together like that.
I hadn't thought about it until just now, and you're saying Lily a bunch and her turning evil and stuff. Like, it's interesting. Obviously, he's taking a bunch of stuff like Tristan and Isolde and these like fantasy stories, and
Yeah,
That's kind of
he's
part of it.
working very broadly within a pretty familiar archetype, tropes and
Yeah,
stuff.
to make his own very, very own thing. Yeah, super
Yeah,
original.
and
Hmm.
that's okay with me. I think it's the more broadly simplified the story, the more effectively he can choose to portray it,
Sure.
especially with like just effects and imagery. Um, Sweet. So I guess we could keep cooking on the plot unless
Sure.
you.
I mean, I have at this point, I was like looking up who the writer was because like this is like, where is this even coming from?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I think it's Ridley is like, here's what I want it to be, and like hired somebody basically.
He approached a novelist, somebody
Yeah,
who was
exactly. And I was like, this
who
guy's
had done
written
screenwriting.
4 things, and then was like, oh, okay, yeah, he wrote books. But have you Thunder and Lightning? Have you seen that movie?
Yeah,
Okay, I feel like you've talked about it before.
yeah. He wrote
He
that.
wrote Thunder and Lightning for
No
Roger
way.
Corman. Yeah,
The David Carradine movie.
I think so. 77.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a bootlegger film. It's a kind of a exploitation road movie
Yeah.
bootlegger thing where there's a sequence where one of the a Carradine is shirtless in the back of a truck hucking Molotov cocktails.
Hell yeah. That's his first like movie credit. Is that in 77, and then some Corman TV movie in 80, and then Legend in 85, and then there's a movie that's based on his like most popular book, which is Angel Heart,
Oh yeah,
and it's Mickey Rourke, Robert De Niro, and Lisa Bonet movie.
have you not seen it?
No.
It's incredible.
Is it good?
It's a detective story.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
It's
mean
Mickey
that's
Rooney.
he did a bunch of these like Angel Heart detective books, and
I said
then
Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rourke is a detective,
yeah,
but it's also
interesting.
of the devil. And De Niro as the devil is
Oh,
fantastic.
interesting. So he likes that angels and devils
I guess he
kind
does.
of thing a little bit, maybe. And then it's getting real freaky in the movie at this point. Like things are
Yes.
getting real dark. And there's something we heard in a movie theater one time. It might have been the Liberty that my dad says all the time. And it's like when something scary happens, this little kid goes, Mom, this movie would scare little kids. And it's like this little 5-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like, are you scared, kid? But my dad says that all the time. If anything, even like fully adult, rated R, something scary happens, he's like, this would scare little kids.
It's
That's what I
very
was thinking
funny.
the whole end of this movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
Yeah. This is not for children, I
Yeah,
don't
there's like
think.
demons and shit.
Then
Yeah,
again, I saw it as a child and was
it's
quite
a kids
taken with
movie.
it.
It
So
is a kids movie.
it is.
So
It sort of is and it sort of isn't.
it's
It is
like scientifically designed to be one of those kids movies you watch that like traumatizes you for the rest of your life, but in a way that you love,
true.
like Return to Oz,
True.
and yeah, like those like dark fantasy movies.
Movies they don't make anymore.
Yeah, I think
Because
about All Dogs Go to Heaven a lot.
yeah.
And that's such a weird movie.
Oh yeah, that in a
Um,
lot of ways. I
right.
just rewatched that one not
Oh,
too
cool.
long
Yeah, yeah.
ago. Like a
It's
couple
a
years.
weird one. Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Um, so then Jack they find they split up. Gump and Jack split from Screwball and Brown Tom. They're looking for the unicorn. Jack is looking for Lily, and they come across the throne room, and they see the interaction between Darkness and Lily as he's working on her, and she's like working him,
Hmm.
and they overhear him say that light is his enemy, that is his destroyer. There's a lot of cool shit that people say. There's like this poetic quality that is hokey and lame but awesome at the same
I think the
time.
delivery of it like works every time.
Every
It's the people
time
giving it like that are believing it that makes it work. Yeah.
it's so good, and it lends a quality to the world. Like there's like terminology that they use that makes it seem like this completely different place. The Screwball and Brown Tom find the unicorn, and then they find Jack. Of course, they overhear, and again, Jack flashes back to interacting with Lily, in which she as a means of apology to him after the unicorn sequence. She dazzles him with the light reflecting off of her jewelry,
Mm-hmm.
and he thinks of that moment of the light reflecting, and he says, "I have an idea."
Yeah.
And so then it goes to them in the kitchen, where up high above the ground, high above the cooking instruments and stuff, there's just a series of serving plates,
Hmm.
large serving plates that they're after. They end up rescuing Blunder from a pot pie. They cut him out of
Yeah,
there, and like some live birds fly out.
that's funny.
And ensues a battle between the pig cooks and Jack, in which he's got to flip around, and they use
Hmm.
steam to burn and slay them. There's a lot more action that was in this movie, and that's the stuff that they chose to cut out,
Hmm.
just because Ridley wanted to ensure that they're displaying as much of the set piece of like the story, and there's just like superfluous action. Actually, there's this really shitty chase that happens in the American cut where these dumb little cat guys pop up
Hmm.
and chase them through a door, chase Jack and Gump through this doorway. It
Yeah, I remember seeing
looks
stuff about this sequence. Yeah.
they look stupid and
Hmm.
awful. Maybe I just haven't spent enough time
I
with
mean,
them.
I don't remember. Like, I haven't seen it like in a long time. But yeah, I think it's super funny. Like that test screening, and then you lose all confidence, and then he's like, "That's it. Americans are dumb. We need to really focus on the action and Lily and Jack's physical relationship because that's all they're here for." And so it shows them kissing at the beginning
Yeah,
in the American
yeah,
version. It's like obviously from the end when she's laying in that bed,
yeah,
and then there's this extra like action sequence in the this part of the movie too that like may or may not do anything. I like the idea of being able to see Gump like fight people,
yeah.
but I
I,
yeah, I don't know if I didn't watch it, so I don't know if it adds or anything.
I
But
would love more. I mean, they didn't shoot a whole. There was like elements of the script that they cut even
oh, gotcha,
in
gotcha.
pre-prod. Um, I would love more of that. I would love more cool characters, like creepy. Like maybe there's a whole other section of a dungeon with like a spider monster that they have to
Sure,
fight, or like show me
damn.
more of this fucking castle. You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's like skeletons, or maybe snake people, or whatever. It's the dark. It's this dead castle built into the eternal, this like tree of death, which looks
Looks amazing.
sick as
It
hell.
does, yeah. I mean, Ridley has gone back to his other movies. There's a sequel to Top Gun, which I know is Tony, but I mean, there's a sequel to Blade Runner.
Did he do the sequel to Top Gun?
No, I can't remember who did it.
Okay.
It's not him though.
He did
But
a sequel to fucking Gladiator.
mm-hmm. Ridley Scott's Legend 2.
Thelma and Louise 2.
It's actually both of the movies combined.
It's just Harvey Keitel.
The girls are running away and they accidentally go too far into the world of magic.
That's where the car drives.
Yeah, yeah. It lands in the woods and they have to answer one of Gump's riddles to survive.
They just shoot him.
Oh,
We've
man.
gone too far.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
S-
I'd watch that.
That's quite funny. And he even says at the end of the commentary, like, elements that he set up for the sequel, that not like he would ever make it. But you never
Oh,
know.
interesting. Yeah.
You never freaking know.
It's hard when you go. I mean, it's you. I don't know how long this has been in his head at this point, right? But it's like you go and make this whole world, and the story is sort of like what it has to be to show your whole world. But how do you get your head out of there once you've done that?
True.
You can't. I wouldn't be able to stop thinking about like what else is going on in the world of Legend. You know, if like I had made that up.
There is an element that I learned from him that's been really, really important for me.
Hmm.
You know how I've just been kept. I'm just living in the world of my first book, and I just
Mm-hmm.
like the physical production, the physical release. I'm gonna do all these things to fix it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He said that by the time he's done with certain movies, he's just done looking at them, and he knows that
Interesting.
it's time to move on because the creative excitement is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so there with my first book. I need to be just willing to just say goodbye to it. And I think that he's inspired me to just like, okay, the creative
Next thing.
excitement is gone.
Hmm.
Just be excited about the next thing.
Yeah.
And he,
Well, I mean, 10 years you do a director's cut.
right?
You revisit it.
I mean, I still have all the image files and
There you
stuff.
go.
I could try again. And I might do that if once I release my second
Sure.
book, I could like re-release the first one.
Yeah.
So, and maybe that comes from doing thousands of commercials. He has this creative like flow of, okay, now it's the next thing,
Yeah.
now it's the next thing,
I
now it's the
mean,
next thing.
editing, like in a movie, I feel like you're looking at the same stuff so many times, so many times, so many times. Then you go screen it, you're seeing it again and again and again. Like you can't help but be like, okay, I'm done. And then with this, where they're like, okay, actually go rework the whole thing a
Yeah,
couple
and it
times.
happens with multiple of his movies.
Yeah.
Most of his movies, he reworks them. So maybe that is
He's just
him.
spending so much time with him in the first place. And then there's this big negative, like weird piece of the end of that process that, yeah, I'm sure he's like, okay, what's the next thing? Maybe it won't be as brutal as this.
I love Legend.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Uh huh.
I don't want any more in this world. I would want a new thing.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because it's like at this point we've learned I mean, some people have not learned. I have learned the lesson. It's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same thing,
Yeah.
and it can basically only detract at this point.
True.
So leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone.
Yep.
Just don't open the wound.
Yep. I'll have dreams about it or something.
Yeah.
Add my own stuff.
Yeah.
And
I'll fan
whatever.
fiction. So then the
We're in the middle of the bringing light to the dark sequence, right?
yeah, they make a plan.
Which I love this idea. It's like a Zelda puzzle.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
let's make mirrors to make this beam go through the place.
And
Yeah.
then they have to somebody has to climb up through basically the chimney.
So there's a line. I swear it on the festering furlock of Nicodemus.
Thank you for writing that down.
That stuck out to me so
I
good.
love that line.
I laughed out loud and was like, I got to hear that again.
That was Blunder, I think, that says that one.
And then, yeah, there's going to be a climb, and it would take a Peapod Pixie to make that climb. All of a sudden, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a whole world. We need, like, references to the fact that, like, these things have existed for a while.
Yeah,
Like,
cute,
Peapod
fun
Pixie.
things.
Yeah. Which I think that's Billy Barty. And here I was like, if we haven't talked about him yet, what are we doing? And then I forgot. Yeah, he's in Willow. Yep. But he's also Noodles, the cameraman in UHF.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
See, I have, but it's not one of my like go-tos.
Yeah. That's where I probably saw him first, was in UHF, just from seeing it in junior high or whatever.
I haven't seen it since then, though.
And then I looked at his IMDb, and his first credit is in 1928.
Yeah.
Guy's playing a baby or something, but
he was probably too young to do Wizard of Oz.
maybe,
which would be interesting.
like 10 years later. Yeah.
Yeah. He is the man.
Yeah.
Billy Barty rules.
Fascinating. Yeah.
I love the look of him. I love his voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a great voice.
So he is the hero. He climbs up this. I guess it's like a chimney or something, and he carries.
It's like yeah. What do you even call that? What's that called on the outside of buildings when they're building them?
Oh, like scaffolding.
It's like scaffolding, kind of.
It's like a flume, like a shaft, and he carries one of the serving plates, the reflective serving plates, to the top, and meanwhile, Lily, who is acting as though she's succumbing to the darkness, says, "Okay, check this out, darkness. I will marry you on one condition. You let me spill the blood of the last unicorn so that I can, and I know you're going to love that. You want this shit, and I will cut its I will
Oh yeah, yeah.
I will remove its head, and then you and me can be together forever." And he just starts his glorious cackle.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell she's got a freaking darkness boner.
Yeah.
He's stoked on this, and so they bring in the unicorn for this ceremony, and she's preparing herself to take the strike. Meanwhile, they're setting up all the plates,
Mm-hmm.
and
this part when they're like jumping around and stuff, and they're doing all the plates and rolling around or whatever. Is that what's happening right here?
The plates, yeah. Well, collecting the plates happened before the fight with the chefs, the pig chefs.
Oh yeah.
Because there's another element of the playful nature of these forest creatures is even while they're collecting the plates and frisbeeing them to each other, they're having fun.
I love this part.
Me too.
And I was like, they could have done Lord of the Rings just like this, and it would have been amazing.
Oh man, it would have been so different. Can you imagine?
It would have been great.
I would have
loved
loved
guys running around having a good time.
Yeah,
like so cute.
And
or like the Hobbit at least.
It's like the reality of the situation isn't impressing itself upon them.
Mm-hmm.
They're still.
We have a thing to do, and
we're still kind of just doing this.
Have a good time doing
having
it.
A good time.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows that they're of a completely different type of creature. They're just of the forest. They're just whatever they are,
Yeah.
And so then that's what wakes up the pig guy, and then they fight. Is Billy Barty stumbles into the pile of plates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of fast cutting between them setting all of the plates up. Then the main doors of the room the ceremony room start to close, and so Gump and Jack run in, but Blunder is left kind of on the outside, like
Mm.
um, and so the scenario we are looking at are Jack and Gump in the upper portions of the ceremony room, looking with their bows and
Oh,
arrow,
yep, yep.
looking upon the dark figures of these monks holding the chained unicorn in place and actually using the chains to draw its head closer to the
Mm-hmm.
ground. The monk in that costume was actually the horse handler, just
Interesting.
wearing the shroud. And Lily, who's standing there, is she refers to herself as Sister to the Fates,
Hmm.
which is a sweet ass
Yeah,
thing.
it is.
I don't know what it's referencing, but it
All of a
sounds like it's
sudden, they're pulling
referencing
out like, yeah,
like cool little things.
festering furlock of Nicodemus.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And Sister of the Fates. Yeah.
um,
But it does make you feel like, oh, things are like really ramping up now.
yes, and there's the last. Okay, so Una, who flies up the chute to check on Screwball, who has made it to the top but has passed out because of the how hard the climb
Mm-hmm.
was, and she turns into her human form or her person form and is trying to lift it, but she's too weak to
Mm-hmm.
lift the plate to get the last failing rays of the lowering sun to deflect all the way down amongst their mirrors. Meanwhile, as you know, the race against time, Jack and Gump are both taken two different vantages and have their bows drawn. And Gump is saying, "She's gonna kill this
Yeah,
thing.
shooter. Yeah.
Fucking shoot her, dude.
Shoot
Shoot her."
her.
Which I
Yeah.
love that line
Yeah.
read from Alice. She does such a good job. Shoot her, Jack.
Yeah.
And then it's the last trust check
Mm-hmm.
because it's all a sham. She takes the opportunity
Like
to
he says, I
cut the chain.
trust you, Lily, or
I
something like
trust you,
that.
Lily. He closes his eyes and says, I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And right after she slices the chain, he had let his bow go and it pierces Darkness's neck. So
Yeah.
he was never going to shoot Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And then Darkness freaks out and smacks her away. And then Tom Cruise actually has a really good line read where he screams Darkness.
Hmm.
You know, when he
Mm-hmm.
goes, Darkness!
Yeah.
And he swings in on a chain. And then there's this whole fight in the room, which it's mostly good.
I like it.
I
Yeah.
like it too. There's a lot of good practical effects, but the stuntman wearing the Darkness uniform, you could tell it has this frozen
Hmm.
mask on, and it looks a little janky.
My main thought was like him running at her is like terrifying.
Oh yeah, with
Yeah.
his like bull run. It's like a bull
Yeah.
run.
Yeah. He's like, that thing is moving so fast.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be able to move that
He
fast.
slams his horns into the stone pedestal that Jack is laying at the ground at the base of, and it's this face to face moment.
Mm-hmm.
And he growls at him and calls him like a little boy, like, what are you
Mm-hmm.
doing in my throne room, boy? And then he slugs him. I've had this feeling in the past, like, why is this little jungle kid who has no warrior experience going toe to toe with this ultimate form of darkness? But just on this most rewatch, I was kind of thinking, like, what if he is kind of he too is like, he's the prince of darkness. He is a prince.
Mm-hmm.
He's not had to do much of his own muscle work.
You mean Darkness?
Yeah, Darkness
He's got
hasn't.
his dad who maybe did something a while ago, and then he's just kind of living in the
Yeah.
world as it is.
It's kind of a nepo baby. He's kind of a
It kind
Darkness
of
nepo
is,
baby.
but he's like, yeah, and he's like, here's my first plan. I'm going to try to disrupt this balance and
Right.
whatever. And
it does kind of feel like his first and only major
it kind of seems like it, yeah.
public works movement.
Yeah.
is
And like Jack is, like we talked about, like this of the green. He's like this representation of like, I'm the hero for the forest kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's an
It's
acrobat. He's physically capable. So him being able to like beat and make movement on this giant muscled figure when he
Mhm.
swings a punch at him, like
Mhm.
actually gets him to react to his punches, like shows how strong Jack is and maybe how untested Darkness is in the ways of being a warrior.
Hmm.
But even with that said, Jack's trying to get a sword. He can't really because Darkness keeps shooting flames. And then
Mm-hmm.
Darkness grabs this giant broadsword. And then once Jack does get a sword, they do a great job of making it feel like Darkness is an immovable object with the sword parries and stuff. Jack's moving, swinging around, moving like a little like acrobat jungle boy,
Mm-hmm.
and Darkness is just like clanging his sword away. And then once he goes on the offensive towards Jack, he's knocking his ass down. Jack gets a shield, and it's just like he's battering him. That's satisfying
It's
to look
cool.
at.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And then
Again, like he shouldn't be moving, like he's like a real thing. Yeah.
yes,
It's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
it looks great. Everything
Mm-hmm.
in this room still has that sense of
Mm-hmm.
weight and feel of. Uh, One of my notes is Ridley Scott talking about set design. He says in sci-fi and fantasy, his philosophy is like places don't really change; they just get dirtier.
Hmm.
Like because places have to be maintained, and often they're not, and so it gives this sense of
Damn.
an
Okay,
eternal
Ridley.
quality, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lived in quality. And in situations like this, there's an eternal quality because you just see like the buildup of shit and
Mm-hmm.
art and figures that are carved. And even in Darkness's throne room and in this, there's just all these
So
cool
much
little
stuff.
guys
Yeah.
and cool little, like these weird little moving gnome figures.
Hmm.
Um, and so then Darkness has Jack cornered.
Mm-hmm.
Jack sees the unicorn horn and grabs it out of a little puddle of like burning liquid and
Mm-hmm.
tosses it.
Which I like that little effect and that little sequence where he's like
Me too.
reaching into it. Like you look at it and you're like, I don't know. For some reason, you're like, someone's hand would burn off if they went in there. But then he
Exactly.
does, and you believe it still. And
That's exactly what he
yeah,
says. That's what Ridley Scott says. It's like it's a simple little effect, but it works. They just had a little tube that was just like jetting
like steam or something.
gas,
Oh,
and then they
yeah.
had that lit, and so it was just this jet of flame.
That's awesome.
And my interpretation of that was that because he's contacting the magical horn, that's what protects his hand or
Hmm.
whatever. And when he tosses it at Darkness and it pierces him like it's paper,
Mm-hmm.
that to me reads less like Jack hurled it so
Mm-hmm.
powerfully and more like
That's the power of this
the
thing.
power of the thing versus just Darkness. Like Shadow can't even. It's just it cuts through him like paper,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when the light shines through the mirror, the series of mirrors, and it blows open the doors, like
Mm-hmm.
scattering, like sending Blunder flying, and that projects Darkness almost out through that the cutaway into infinity that they
Mm-hmm.
showed near the beginning, and he's like holding on. His claws streak and spark against the
Mm-hmm.
sides, and then as Jack is slowly approaching, shot very, very smartly too, because it's just this blinding light that's backlighting Jack, and then the shadowy figure of Jack is creating the shadow in Darkness's face so that you can see it like creates a dimension in his face instead of just having like this bright light that just flattens him
Yeah.
completely. And of course, as Jack is approaching with the sword to finish the job, Darkness is saying, "You can't eliminate Darkness. There has to be a balance. You
Mm-hmm.
need me. You can't not have me, you fool." Jack cuts his hand, which is still holding the unicorn horn that Darkness had pulled out of his abdomen, and that falls and sends him screaming out into the dark. His twirling little model.
Yeah, it just flies out. Just, I mean, I was like, this is just like the Alien flying out into space.
Yeah, true. That's
Yeah.
very true. And then it explodes into like several pieces,
Mm-hmm.
which that was Ridley Scott's philosophy on that was that it's supposed to be um, to show that it can reform in the future.
Hmm.
Darkness can never truly, and that was his idea for
Yeah.
leaving it open for the sequel.
Gotcha. Has a lot of very like Star Warsy kind of things going on at the end, light and
True.
dark, and there's got to be balance and cutting off his hand. And all
Yeah,
that stuff.
true. Yeah, that was a couple of
Yeah.
years after Return of the Jedi too.
And
83.
that like lived in thing, like I associate that with Star Wars, like originally, right? Like,
Yeah, I agree.
but yeah, really epic ending. I love I think he has a line that says, "All wolves suffer fleas." Like
Yes.
badass. Yeah.
Yes, he's got some great lines.
Yeah.
He says, "We are all animals," or
Yeah.
we all are animals," or
Yeah.
something really
It's so good.
to Lily. So she is still in her dark dress. She has
Hmm.
been unconscious since darkness slapped her away, and Jack reunites the horn of the unicorn to yeah, everybody goes out to the forest. He reunites the horn onto the slain unicorn, and that brings it back and then restores the world. And then Jack leaps back into the water to find the ring
Yep.
and
Yeah. They're like,
restores.
wait, there's a loophole.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Because Gump is telling her she's gone, dude.
Yeah.
She was the darkness, and darkness is defeated. She's gone. And he's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
So he finds the ring and he restores it, and then she comes back, and that's when they kiss.
Yep.
And then and I think she's determined. She's like, I'm too human for this place.
Hmm.
I have to go back to my place. And then
Does she decide that, or does he decide that?
us, I can't remember.
Because I think in the U.S. and the European, I think both of them have them together at the end. And then the director's cut is, yeah, she is of the human world
Yeah.
and he's of the magic world. And instead of leaving together, yeah, he just runs off into the woods like a little baby boy.
She does say, "Can I come back tomorrow?" Though.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think that it's implied she'll always be a visitor to the space,
yeah.
but
But
never
it's also not like, hey, we solved this thing, we're together now. Like it's
Yeah.
we went through this adventure and it'd be cool to come back and see what you're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
It is like she's separate from this world
And
still.
keep this thing going, see
Yeah.
where it goes. In all cuts except for the director's cut, the final farewell, there is like in the American release, there's an overlay of darkness laughing as all the forest creatures are waving
Weird.
goodbye, and I don't know how that is shown in the non-American non-director's cut, but apparently all versions except for the director's cut implies darkness still exists and it hasn't. It's like a last shot of him, but the director's cut is just the fey creatures and Jack waving goodbye to Lily.
Yeah.
And then credits.
Which is better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that last fight. I love him flying into space.
Yeah,
It's cool. Very
it all
like
looks so good.
yeah. And like a really specific type of like fantasy.
Yes.
That does have that like dark. I mean, he is darkness, but it does have that like darkness to it. Like, oh, this infinite space, and he was out there, and maybe it's destroyed, and maybe it's not. But yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, legend.
So your impressions.
Yeah.
Where are you at on this?
My last note was, hey, write me a Peter Pan thing, Ridley Scott.
Yeah,
because it kind of does have a Peter Pan.
It does.
To it. Yeah, I don't know. This is one that I've always felt is like super weird. It's very odd.
Mhm.
And it's got to be Ridley. I mean, I don't because he's the one bringing everything to this, you know. But I definitely got it more this time, and the director's cut is way superior.
Yeah.
It's like more of a complete thing. And I mean, the music was new this time. The music is incredible. I have one more thing. So, but yeah, I got way more into it this time. I saw it as like, oh, this really unique fantasy story.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise still kind of weirds me out here and there in it. It's kind of weird
Same.
that he's in it to me. I get that he's like a big star at the time, but it's like,
He was a rising
what
star
a
at the time.
strange choice.
Who else? Oh, they apparently they looked at Johnny Depp, Jim Carrey, and Robert Downey Jr. at the time.
Ew, Downey Jr. would be gross. Jim Carrey obviously would not be good.
That would have been
What was the one before that?
Johnny Depp.
That would have worked.
Yeah.
That would have been okay.
I don't know how physical he was at that point
Sure.
in his career.
Yeah. That would have been a very interesting movie.
Yeah.
So the first credit that comes up at the end
Mm-hmm.
is for Vic Armstrong, unicorn handler. Vic Armstrong is a stunt coordinator known for such films as You Only Live Twice, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Live and Let Die, Never Say Never Again, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. It came up and I was like, basically did a spit take.
Because you
It's
knew
like,
the name.
yeah, because he's in all the behind the scenes stuff. He
Holy
is the stunt coordinator for those movies. And I was
The
like,
connections,
"Fucking
man.
unicorn wrangler." That was awesome.
It's my future job.
Yeah, I mean that in IMDb it doesn't say unicorn wrangler, but on Legend it says
Yes.
unicorn wrangler, which is so funny.
That's so good.
Vic Armstrong. Yeah, what a legend.
Motherfucker.
So there's 3 big Bond connections
Yeah.
at least with this movie.
At least.
Yeah. And I laughed so hard at the end. It's like, of course. Another one. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of charted Ridley and Tom's kind of thing. They're kind of like career before.
Okay.
But Outsiders, Risky Business, All the Right Moves, then Legend, then right after this he does Top Gun, and then in 2012 he does Rock of Ages.
Wait, Outsiders.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Tom
yeah,
Cruise.
yeah,
I was
Tom
thinking
Cruise.
that's a Coppola movie. But...
It is, yeah. But he's in it briefly.
Yes.
He's one of the brothers. And then Ridley was Duelists, Alien, Blade Runner, Legend, Someone to Watch Over Me, which I had never heard of.
Neither have I.
And then Black Rain, Thelma and Louise.
Okay.
Just interesting to see like where they're at in their run. Someone to Watch Over Me is it's a very specific like war movie, but I can't. It just like disappeared basically afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, super imaginative. Just crazy lush world that's like unlike really anything. Very satisfying. Yeah.
And it's for me. I love how it looks. I want to touch it. I'm a creator. I like to make cool things, and this is a temple. I'm pretty convinced I'm going to add it to my top 4 because it's so singular and it's such a representation of like being inspired by the visuals of something. Like I just am so deeply creatively inspired by the production and art design in this that
yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things to look at.
That's awesome. So you think this is going in your top 4?
It is.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I look forward to seeing that pop up. So the video I watched was it's called Comparing the Cuts, and it's from Movie Oubliette on YouTube. They did a really good job. It was mostly about the U.S. and English cuts, and then they mentioned the director's one in there. But they have an English guy who saw it as a kid the English cut, and an American girl who saw the American cut when she was young, and like they kind of discuss the differences and stuff. It was really good. They also talk about the stage burning down and all that stuff, which was cool. How he wanted to do it as a fairy tale for his kids. And then the Tristan and Isolde stuff. Rob Bodine, the creature effects is like crazy. And then the difference is the English cut is 94 minutes, US is 89 minutes, and then director's is 113. And yeah, that stuff about Lily being more aware of like what she's doing is only kind of apparent in the director's cut, which is interesting. Kind of makes her more innocent, I guess, in the original ones, but is much less interesting.
Oh yeah, because there's is Jack human? I'm not convinced of that. He might be, but we know that if Jack isn't, besides the lady in the cottage at the beginning, she's the only human in the movie. And it's kind of like when you can't be I don't know if I want to say
I don't think Jack's human.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
I mean that's just my reading, but
and I could go along with that. And with that in mind, it's like as a representation of a human in that scenario, like using her wits and her will, like applying her will, and it's probably good commentary on humanity's willingness to apply their ideas to manipulate the spaces around them, change their surroundings or
a lot of times in the fantasy stories it is, I mean, maybe it's just virtue of how stories work, of you have to have somebody be the hero to change stuff, like sure. But yeah, the status quo is exactly the same and no one can really impact it. Like Link is the only one that's going to save Hyrule, and everyone's going to be confused why he can handle it, and but it's got to be the one guy.
Yeah,
and everybody else is just, I don't know what we're going to do about this monster. I'm just a little villager. Totally. Yeah. I totally feel that. And then that ignorance at the beginning and greed, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, of like selfishness. I'm
Sure.
gonna go do this. I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
care about this stuff. And then, but then, yeah, like I'm gonna use this to get us out of it as well. Yeah, it's
Yeah, she
interesting.
she kind of was. I mean, it wasn't really going to work. Her cutting the chain, I don't. She didn't know Jack was there. You know, her
Right.
cutting the chain was only going to stall the process.
That's so true. Yeah.
So it was a sacrifice. She was going. She probably knew she was going to die because of it,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty noble.
Yeah.
Because she thinks that no, she knows at that point that it wasn't her fault because she overheard Blix talking about killing the unicorn.
Gotcha. But is it? I mean, did they open up the opportunity for something evil to happen by doing something they weren't supposed to?
It could be. I mean, she had them standing still.
Mm-hmm. And not
She
paying attention.
she
And
gave them the opportunity. She
yeah.
gave the goblins the opportunity to
But then,
strike.
like, would that still happen if they weren't there and the goblins just happened on the unicorns or what?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
But that's what makes it like worth visiting is there's actually something to it other than just a straightforward whatever.
Totally. And it's
because Ridley's mind is insane. Yeah.
couldn't agree more. And it's such a simple, straightforward story, but here we are talking about the different elemental aspects of the creatures involved, like the human creature and the forest boy and whatever the fuck Gump is.
Yeah. The mucklebone of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my memory of seeing it originally was like, this is really fast and disjointed, and it's like, man, the production is so crazy. How did you not also put the same level of thought into like how you're going to tell this story?
Why would you
And-
not want to just spend as much time here as
Right.
possible?
It's what it feels like you're trying to do because it's like we set up this forest, like we should just be in this space for as long as we can, and
Yeah.
this castle, and yeah, so it makes sense why like there is a version where that is the case. Yeah. Did you look into any of the audience response stuff?
No, tell me about it. Well, very, very little on Wikipedia, but that's about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it was not great. I'm not sure afterwards, like U.S. and British cuts, but the budget was 25 million and the box office was 23.5, so they did not quite get there. But it's like in the middle of all this fantasy stuff coming out because of Star Wars and these like production lines that have been built for this. And they called it the Extinction Event that ended fantasy film productions. But Willow comes out in 88, a couple years later.
That's a good point.
And Willow also has that reputation of
Yeah.
like, this was a huge disaster. So whatever. My thing is like, they should have just had more confidence. Like they shouldn't have doubled back on whatever the heck. They should have been like, you know what? It's a new thing. It is a little weird and it is a little dark. And that's what I'm going for. So that's what we're putting out.
Yeah.
But
Did you look at any of the critical, like how the Academy took to?
I don't know if anybody noticed any of it. I don't think they got nominated. I can't.
It
They
was
had to
nominated-
get
it-
nominated for
nominated
production
for
design.
makeup.
Okay,
It was not even nominated for art direction.
crazy.
The if I remember right, the film that won that year was Out of Africa,
Okay,
and so then I looked up Alien and I
Mhm.
looked up Blade Runner.
yeah,
They were both, if I'm correct, they were both nominated for art direction, but neither of them won. One
Psychotic.
of those, Gandhi won,
okay.
and then the other one,
But we can put a lot of people on the frame.
right? The other one,
I mean, Gandhi's good, but
I remember seeing
goddamn.
and thinking, yeah, okay, but over Blade Runner,
Yeah.
yeah,
If the art or the award, usually the joke is like the award is for most. So it's not best music, but it's like most music,
Sure.
like most things we've heard over and over. Or like production design. Most, I would say Ridley wins that every time.
well, yeah, he would have
Like, how
won
did he
this.
not?
If this is the case, he should have won for
Yeah.
this.
And I still think he probably should have won, or whoever the production designer is on these. Like,
Yeah,
because there's nothing that looks like these three movies that
No.
you're talking about.
no, I don't
They're
know
pristine.
what Gandhi has gone on to change the look of films, but
Yeah.
we know what there is an entire like visual language because of what he did for Alien, the
Yeah.
Alien movie.
Right. I mean, Blade Runner is a lot
And
of
Blade Runner.
taking Mobius's visions for the future and like realizing them, but like, yeah, nobody's done that. Nobody had done that yet, and it looks insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this movie looks insane.
It does, and it's fantasy maximum it's fantasy to the max,
Yep.
and it's Ridley Scott's design principles in a fantasy setting, and God, I love it. I really, really do.
Yeah,
I think it's probably my favorite fantasy movie, and then
that's cool.
Fellowship is probably second. And Willow.
Yeah. Where's I mean, you mentioned Dark Crystal.
Oh, I love Dark
I
Crystal.
think that's the only one that even gets close to production design of this movie. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't have that physical stuff always. In some of the forest stuff, there is that kind
yeah.
of feel, but and like just the richness of the world they made. But yeah,
Dark Crystal was a contender for me for a favorite, but
that one's probably the one that got into that space in my mind,
yeah,
where Legend occupies in your mind.
I on my most recent rewatch of Dark Crystal, some of the voice work did this
Hmm.
is what detracts for me. Some
Not
of the
Ogra.
sketchy stuff, some
Okay.
of what's it? Yeah,
I
Okra.
love Ogra's voice. It's so funny.
Yeah, listen to either the commentary or the behind the scenes, like how Frank Oz was so disappointed
Hmm.
with the voice work.
Interesting.
I could hear like hearing the actress that portrays Okra, I could hear how he would have done it.
Hmm.
Like with his
Frank Oz plus her. Yeah.
yeah, like
Huh.
how his voice would have been used. I think they purposely didn't use it because his voice would have been too
Two. Yeah.
recognizable. They wanted to create such an unrecognizable
Hmm.
world. She has interesting delivery, but some flat delivery that
Hmm.
like she doesn't hit.
She's very Yoda type character. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
Ogra. You
yeah.
seek Ogra.
Her voice would have
You
just
know?
been Yoda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So where do we go from here?
Yeah. So this is going in your top 4,
I think
which is
so.
cool.
I think I'm gonna lock it in.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think I should. I
Okay.
think I can lock this one in.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's say, or what's your name on Letterboxd?
Daniel_Ebert. And I'm the one
EBERT.
with the little statue guy. It's a
Yep.
picture of a statue from Onomichi Village.
I'm pretty sure I'm just Andy on there, but I could be wrong. But yeah, check out Dan's Letterboxd, and then probably an updated review coming up on there. I'd have to imagine. I'm just Andy Morse on Letterboxd.
Nice.
And I'm gonna put my review in there. When I logged it, I just put, "Yep, I watched it."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So I
you
didn't
wanted to
want Dan
save
to
it.
see anything.
So what? How many stars?
Oh man, see, I haven't even thought about that. This star thing is like such a problem.
Is it?
I've gone through. I've gotten since doing it more. I've gotten way better of a scale that makes
Yeah.
sense.
The more movies you have, the more you kind of like. Okay, yeah.
I
These are
understand
the
what 2
twos.
means, and I
Yeah.
understand what a 2.5 means now for myself at least. And
Yes.
2.5 is like I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's fine. It's not offensive. It's not amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And before I was just like only thinking about Bond movies, and still that's hard for me to rank alongside real movies,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call them, non-Bond movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this might be like a 3 for me,
Fair.
or maybe 3.5. It's around there.
Nice.
It's good. It's in the positive. The production design is like you can't. It's like, yeah, it's perfect. It's amazing. Infallible. That's the word I was trying to think of. Yeah, Tom Cruise weirds me out. Some of the stuff weirds me out, but I don't know. If you would have asked me before this, I probably would have said 2.
Wow.
And this viewing like definitely has brought it up. So like maybe future encounters with it is just more positive. But like having you love it too, like helps, you know.
Definitely.
And having that mindset going in, and then the behind the scenes stuff. Jerry, the music is so good.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with
That's
it.
perfect. Yeah. And I know I'm biased just because it's aesthetically appeals to me deeply.
And it got in there so early.
Yes.
That like it can't help but be just next to your heart.
Definitely. Know? And it's the kind of stuff. Here's another thing. It's the kind of stuff I want to make.
Yeah.
That's the stuff. When I envision my projects moving forward, it is that detailed.
Dude,
and is that severely lit and stuff.
That's a huge element of what I go into watching movies is like, man, this seems like it'd be fun to make, and that makes me like it more. Like, have you ever watched Trailer Park Boys?
No.
I feel like that'd be the most fun show to make. They just have a trailer park and they're just being bastards and they're breaking shit and everything's trashed and whatever. But Bond movies, same thing. Like, it's so fun to go to some other country and like do sequences and stuff there and secret agent stuff. Like, love it.
And we are creatives and hope, like, fringe hopeful media creators and stuff.
Sure.
So we do have that different level of appreciation.
Yeah, we have like an aspirational kind
It's
of like watching
extremely
method. Yeah,
aspirational.
for
And
sure.
like the second half of Legend really informed kind of my lighting scheme for my first book. But I got to tell you, the first half of Legend and a King Hu movie and Where the Wild Things are kind of
Which
inspiring.
one?
The
Spike
Spike Jones
Jones. Oh,
movie,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that
are
movie is amazing to
inspiring the
look
look
at.
of
Yeah,
my next book.
cool,
Yeah,
sweet.
it's very forested.
Okay. Do you want to let's talk about that then? What I guess we can do. Let's do creative input first. So yeah, what stuff that you've been seeing, consuming? It's getting you going.
I've been working on the Oscar movies. Been watching a lot of Oscar movies. Well,
Okay.
not a lot. The occasional Oscar movie. I've been watching the occasional Winter Olympics event. Um, Gearing up for Survivor season 50,
Nice,
which I'm
nice.
pretty stoked on.
My sister's a huge fan. I'm sure she's gonna watch it too.
Awesome. Uh, I have fallen recently into finally getting into my like Soviet era movies.
Okay.
There's some Soviet era fantasy films that I got this beautiful box set for, and I watched those to pieces, and they just had just terrific looks and feels about them. The movies themselves, unfortunately, were above mediocre
Hmm.
generally, with all things coming together, but the look and feel of them were really good. And then that
Okay.
got me back onto the Soviet movies. Like, I love Sergei Eisenstein. Like, I was really inspired by Strike. I appreciate Battleship Potemkin, mostly Strike though. I adore. And so finally I watched Ivan the Terrible 1, Ivan the Terrible 2, Alexander
Yeah, yeah. I saw
Nevsky.
you logging these. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's also, he was inspired, he must have been, by the German expressionistic movement, because he has really striking chiaroscuro lighting, very similar to my appreciation of the latter half of Legend.
Hmm.
It's like striking lighting, really purposefully composed shots and placed figures. Um, and then now that I've finished Alexander Nevsky, I'm looking forward to finishing off the War and Peace saga,
Hmm.
which that's a pretty lengthy but utterly bombastic in scope for Soviet cinema. I finally watched Kolotozov's "The Cranes Are Flying," which I've been saving for myself. It's funny, I got that first, but then eventually got "Letter Never Sent" and
Mm.
"I Am Cuba." Love those movies and was kind of saving "Cranes Are Flying." Finally watched it for the first time, and it's one of the best movies I have ever seen.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna have to watch it a few more times. It might be a contender for favorite,
Hmm.
but I haven't spent enough time with it.
You gotta let it settle.
I do, and it feels weird. I don't have that reactionary like, "Oh, I love this movie. It's one of my favorites now." I can't do that. I wish I
I
could.
think that's
But
I mean, every once in a while something pops up where I'm like, oh my god, this was exactly what I've been looking for.
yeah,
But I
this one
still
is
have
that.
to go like, let me give it some time. I
Yeah,
remember seeing the first Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time. I was like, holy fuck, here we go.
really?
Yeah, I was like, I get to see Star Wars on the big screen, basically.
Oh, true. I
Yeah,
wish I would have looked at it like that. So and then I'm finally gonna. Well, I should probably finish Bellatar. I'm really excited about that.
cool.
I have like 3 or 4 left, and it's the stuff that I'm excited about too. But I've again been saving it, and I've not really been in a Bellatar mood.
Hmm.
Just kind of struggling with
I
some
haven't seen any
stuff.
of his stuff, but yeah, goddamn, you gotta really be in the mood.
Yeah, definitely. And then fucking Tarkovsky. Uh,
Cool.
I got to finish Tarkovsky.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
uh, a few in. He wrote a book, and I read most of it, or a lot of it. But I got up to this part where I hadn't seen those movies, and so I fell off. Since I'm moving forward with building my studio, I'm really close to like finishing off. I gotta do the top half, and then I can start like working on my book. I'm at a point right now where my input will be books about filmmaking or books about screenwriting or story or books about just like camera shit, just to get me back into the creative space.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then little stuff, just whatever trickles through. One-offs. Chinese Ghost Story is amazing. I don't know if I mentioned that last time.
I don't think so.
I'm really excited. They just released Chewy Hark. I think The Blade is going to come out. That has a release, and the Swordsman trilogy is coming out. I'm really stoked on those.
Cool.
Yeah, and
Sweet.
everything else.
Awesome.
How about you?
So I've been taking this class from Matt through Cine Journeys that's on French cinema in the 60s. And it's about the new wave
Yeah.
and the cinema français, and like that stuff is getting me crazy, like amped up. This one guy collected a ton of movies and then turned it into this like experience of, let's just show movies every night. We'll show 3 movies. He had 2 screens and then like would show stuff in a hallway. And you just go, yeah, which one of these have I not seen yet, and go see them. Then people would talk about them, and then the like writing that came up around that stuff, like, man, that stuff is like energizing.
Yeah.
And I might have accidentally bought 2 trailers on 35 millimeter for Bond movies because I was just like back in that collecting mindset, which I feel like I have gotten myself away from, which is good. I also might have done something fucking crazy a little bit.
What'd you do?
I'll show you a picture. This just showed up yesterday. I have no idea what to do with it or what I'm doing with my life, but I accidentally bid $200 on the full film of Man with a Golden Gun. What? It's on 6 reels of 35 millimeter.
What did you do?
It's like slightly tinted red, apparently.
Okay.
But it was like $200, and I just kept going lower and lower, and the guy's like, "Yeah, sounds good." I was like, okay, I guess I'm buying that from you." I have no idea what the hell to do with that. But I talked to the guy who runs the Kiggins, and they don't even have their 35 millimeter projector up anymore because it's like such a thing that people just don't do.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. No clue what I'm going to do with that. Just got it. It's huge. It's heavy. It takes up space. I got to find somewhere in the garage to hide it.
Absurd.
It is absurd. But through that conversation, I found that you can rent the Kiggins and you can sponsor a screening. Did I talk to you about this through text? Okay.
Just through text a little.
So I don't know. Look for in the future. Maybe we'll have a screening of something at the Kiggins. I have a message in for like dates and what I would pick and that kind of stuff. So
excellent.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But that idea of like screening and like talking to people like is super, super exciting for me. One of the classes was like, come up with the first film you would show in a program. And so I came up with 3 films every night for 12 nights with topics to talk about and like themes and shit. I just could not sleep.
You've been thinking about this.
I was so excited. That idea is like so appealing to me. And like the movies that get me most excited are things like Peter Jackson's Bad Taste, stuff that's like people's first efforts or like $0 efforts,
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, yep, that's on there definitely. Nice. Is a lot of people's first efforts or just the really low budget like stuff that people have done. Some YouTube movies.
That's cool.
So I don't know. That's what's been in my head. But the things that I've seen recently that have gotten me going too. Since we talked, I got to see Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair on the big screen.
Yeah.
Which was really amazing. Hollywood Theater is an incredible spot. We showed up right at the time the screening started, so we were sitting right below the speakers. There's a lot of great music in that movie, luckily, but you are in the music. It is so loud.
Yeah.
And then here, if you want to hold my microphone for a second.
He's having a reveal.
Yeah.
There's a reveal. Okay, he's pulling off his sweatshirt, and
So I also saw Shogun Assassin at Hollywood on 35, and I'm wearing my Shogun Assassin t-shirt.
There's Tsumisaburo Wakayama and all of his Ogami Ito glory.
There was one shirt that was a tiny bit better than this, but it didn't come in my size, and it was black and white, exactly like this, but they said his head was infested by devils.
Whoa.
On the bottom, and it's like, that is so awesome. But they do martial arts movie nights, I guess, at Hollywood.
I didn't know
and they
that.
do drawings for stuff.
That's
and
awesome.
For this one, anybody who's wearing a like kung fu movie shirt got into it, or if you buy their martial art movie night shirt, which is like the Shaw Brothers logo with like some people in it.
That's great.
They do a drawing, and for this one, they somebody won a samurai sword.
Oh, shit.
It was awesome. The guy who runs the Hollywood was there, and he's like, "This is my personal print. It's one of my prized possessions. It
Oh,
was on film,
oh
and
man.
like, there's some spots where it's like there's these specific scratches going on in it or whatever. But it was
Oh.
awesome, and people like were cheering, were hooting, hollering. Like, have you? We talked about this like a while ago, but it's the first two Wolf and Cub movies
Hmm.
cut together. Have you seen Shogun's
No,
Assassin
I
specifically?
still haven't.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know how you'd feel about it knowing the actual like movies.
I think I'm going to love it.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
bought the Criterion collection of Lone Wolf and Cub because it has it, and
I
it's
did too because I love Shogun Assassin so
yeah.
much. The end is like probably is not as satisfying as it probably should be.
Well, the end of this whole series isn't,
Oh, interesting.
so
Okay,
it's fine, and
gotcha.
well.
And I haven't seen all the actual Lone Wolf and Cub
Oh,
movies,
okay.
so
Well, they the movies caught up with the comics as Kazuo Koike was still making them,
oh, gotcha.
and
So it's
so
a
they
Game of
just
Thrones kind of
yes,
scenario.
exactly. They just had to take it in the direction.
Interesting. But I took my buddy Brandon, and he had a great time too. But like, yeah, there's so much stuff that people were just like cheering about. It was so good.
Because they were so familiar with it, probably.
Yeah, and I think just those moments when you're in the theater where like you have that little lift and
Yeah.
like you're around all those people, I think the people are also feeling that and like
Yeah.
people let it out, you know. 'Cause there's that part at the beginning which there's a narration at the beginning of Shogun Assassin where it's the kid.
I've
What's his
seen the
name?
intro a bunch.
Oh, okay.
Just because of
Yeah, and
like
it's like, he would become a devil walking the hills seeking vengeance, and he took me with him. And everybody goes, "What?" Dude, it was so good. And like, yeah, it's like it shouldn't work. It shouldn't work that someone went later and edited these two movies together and made its own soundtrack for it.
hmm
But it is only awesome. It's like, here's all the best parts from the first two movies. We're gonna make it make sense. And the music is so cool. It's one of the guys from not Herman's
Wutong.
Hermits, but shoot, what are they called? Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just randomly.
I thought
Which
the
is
RZA did some.
for Shogun. It's a 1980 release.
Oh,
He sampled a ton of stuff from it.
okay, that's
so
why.
in a ton of their
That's my
like Mysteries of
association.
the Chess Box, no, Liquid Swords or something. There's a song that begins with that narration. And he goes,
Okay.
and that's when everything changed, and then the song starts.
Shit,
But there's a ton of stuff sampled from that movie.
that's
That
it.
specific, the Shogun Assassin like cut.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so freaking nuts. Like so many good kills.
Yeah.
I think the highlights of that first one where he cuts the guy's head off, to me, the son, he
Yeah.
cuts his head with a little
In the
reflective
first
thing
duel,
on
yeah, is
the
so
kid's
good.
forehead, and then the cart where he like yells his name and pushes the cart into the guys, and it
Yeah.
like cuts off the dude's feet. And
Yes,
shit.
I love that.
Damn,
The
that's a cool
showdown in
movie.
the old town.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is a great movie.
Is the second one? Is that the three brothers with the
Yes.
straw hats?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great one.
Even your divine blade is no match for the Death Brothers or something. I can't remember what they're called, but they say that to him at one point.
That's
And then
great.
they run into the fire on the boat. and
Yes.
disappear. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
Man,
So that was a great time. We sat exactly the same spot in the speakers, kind of at the back. Amazing. Yeah.
those
So-
movies. Those movies are incredible. I've been a fan of the Lone Wolf movies since I was in college. This was like where we separated for a little while. We
Yeah.
went and did our own things, and then I had this whole progression. I went from Italian spaghetti westerns into Italian crime, which brought me
Cool.
to Japanese crime, which
Cool.
brought me so Kinji Fukasaku, the Yakuza movies, Seijin Suzuki,
Yeah.
and then that brought me into like, let's say, exploitation samurai stuff, and then I got in martial arts, and so I was deep into Kinji Fukasaku and like Kinji Misumi and stuff, and then I went from schlock and exploitation cinema more. I started to refine my tastes and stuff, but yeah, I love that we have parallel fandoms for this.
Well, we both like, other countries' genre films and
Yes,
stuff,
yes.
and just like high flying action shit. So
And the fact that you, my friend, I love that you love this recut of this.
yeah.
Because it's different. And
Could call it sacrilege, right?
it's not though,
It's
because
not.
because of what it
This
is.
movie is like the only reason Kill Bill exists is because this movie, you know,
Yeah.
like for
It's-
sure.
When you combine an already great thing to create another great thing,
Yeah.
that's awesome, and it's different, and it's like Giorgio Moroder's Metropolis. You turned me on to that.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
would
had been
put these in the same category. Like they are
definitely.
more populist versions that are now super old themselves. You know,
Yes,
that kind of lends to them being they're like Credence anyway. So
definitely, and I
and they
never would
both have
have
synthy '80s soundtracks.
Pat Benatar. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't
oh
even
yeah,
gotten into these things if it wasn't for you. And I love the idea of this subgenre of like things made from other things that are awesome
they're
in their
also
own right
awesome. Yeah,
and are very accessible.
yeah,
So it's cool that you like these things. I like that you like them.
hell yeah.
I don't know.
I feel very confident in it. I
Yes.
feel like it's easily defended.
Yes.
And then I guess the movie, like a new movie that I've seen this year that was good was we did see that Bone Temple 28 years later.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was cool. It's a continuation of something Danny Boyle did, so it's like I'm going in knowing it's not going to be Danny Boyle, and
Like
it still
weeks
was
later.
satisfying. I kind of wish there was one more turn. Something he does in the first movie is there's these like three distinct parts where it's like we're gonna leave this whole world and go do something else,
Mhm.
and now you're the same character in this whole different world.
Really?
And this one kind of stays in the same world that it ends on in the first one.
Okay, I get it.
The first one ends with a big like we're introducing this whole new element, and then you just stay with that element. But it's brutal. It's violent. Oh God, what's his name?
Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe Fiennes is so good.
Yeah,
Holy shit. He has
Okay.
like some really great parts in this movie.
that sounds awesome.
He's this like doctor scientist guy, and he's going against these super superstitious, sort of like devil obsessed guys,
Whoa.
and kind of like manipulates them with like things he knows. It's
Hell
really
yeah.
cool. And proposes that maybe this is so Danny Boyle. I love this so much that the answer to the zombie apocalypse is maybe drugs,
Fuck yes.
fucking heroin. It's so good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's so good. I like laughed at that. Like Danny, of course. I mean, he's not making it, but it's such a Danny Boyle like.
Mhm.
You know what really connects everyone, no matter what?
Heroin.
It's just like being on the same drugs at the same time. Amazing. So really enjoyed that. Best movie I've seen in 2026. That's a new movie at least.
That's
So,
great.
cool. We've been going for a long time.
Yeah.
But we're coming at the end. What creative output you got? I know you've been working on this space a lot.
That's mostly it.
Yeah.
Mostly preparing this space, knowing that we're gearing up for these podcasts. A lot of this is permanent now, except for I'm going to take the curtains down when I'm working on the rest of it and making sure none of this gets dirty. But I'm going to
Gotcha.
finish the top half. Got to mud, got to paint, and then once this place is in like pretty decent condition, I can start building sets and stuff. I'm spending a lot of my time digitizing my movie and TV show collection,
Gotcha.
and that's upping my consumption quite a bit because of access. Like having all of my discs digitized, then I can just put them on my phone.
Sure.
And if
On the
I'm
act of like uploading it, and then you're like, oh, I got these on there. I could watch one of those.
yes, exactly, and it's kind of fun because I always knew when I was a DVD collector, whenever I saw something had audio commentary, unless it was one that I had seen so many times, I would go grab a movie and think, "Ooh, the audio commentary." No, I kind of just want to watch the movie, and then by the time I'd watched it, I was done with it and moved on to the next movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always knew that there was going to be a time in my life when the commentaries was going to mean a lot. And right now is that time, and having them digitized on my phone, headphones, I can literally turn a movie on, but just listen to it like a podcast.
That's awesome.
Specifically, movies I have seen a
Yeah.
multitude of times and haven't logged on Letterboxd yet, and am getting a new perspective on because I'm listening to the directors talk about it, or the creators, or
Yeah, and all you have
actors.
is them talking about it and your feelings about what's happening.
Exactly. And so
That's
now
cool.
I kind of get a free movie watch. I get to log it, and I get to enjoy this movie kind of like I have never enjoyed it before.
That's cool.
New perspective on it, and it's also getting me jazzed. So it's like right now I'm kind of in a state of preparation. I'm like I'm a flower that's waiting to bloom.
Gotcha.
I'm like,
As winter thaws and
yeah,
we go into spring.
probably quite literally once spring
Honestly,
hits.
that's sort of the Northwest.
Yeah.
Is you kind of got to hunker down for a while, and then yeah, things start opening up again. You go back outside.
Yeah, I'm kind of moving through some stuff. I've had some changes in my life recently that have created obstacle. No,
It's
creative.
giving you a lot of focus on one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's made me think about life in certain ways and
sure.
think about maximizing my time.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and yeah, I'm glad we're doing this because this feels like even at least we're doing something,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
something great.
Mm-hmm. And maybe this is the spark for more.
Yeah,
The engine that makes us keep going on other stuff.
I agree, and I would love to like bring you in as like a story consultant
Sure.
on my next thing on my next project just to make sure because I have it roughed out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, much like my inspiration from Legend, the story itself is probably pretty archetypical, kind of tropey, but it's going to be my presentation of it that hopefully makes it unique and interesting. And in this world of AI, hopefully people will be more interested than something that's entirely hand built.
Yeah. I know that is intriguing for me. Like that is also part of what I'm watching something for is like the connection to the artists.
Yeah.
And that's why like Terry Gilliam's like stuff and this, like the visual elements of it's like there's so many artists working at such a high level
Yes.
that you get to like be a part of. Like that's so appealing to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Side note, quick note, input. There's a documentary on Disney Plus about the creation of Disneyland.
Interesting. Oh, I saw you log that and it was
Y-
Grandpa Core.
Yeah, it's like grandpa's getting hoisted.
Yeah.
So it's
Grandpa's getting hoisted.
grandpa's getting hoisted in that thing. Bruh.
Shit. You know how tall that castle is? Grandpa's getting hoisted. That tall.
Yeah,
You know?
well,
At least that tall.
it was very rigorously and painstakingly documented the process of
Pretty
building
wild.
it, and they did it in like a year.
Hmm.
And the entire movie is just it's a public works montage of them moving dirt around at first, and then high level craftspeople
Hmm.
building all of the buildings and all the like electronics and the animatronic, like all the characters with voiceovers of people involved saying, "Oh, it's never gonna fucking work," or like
Yeah.
these are the pressures we're under. But mostly it's like as a visual of if you just like watching people build cool shit, it's a good one of those.
Hmm.
It's really, really well preserved as a construction project.
That's cool. A lot of forethought, like going like, hey, people are going to be interested in this at some point.
Yeah.
We are doing something unique. Let's like document this.
Yeah, even
it's
though the
interesting.
project itself had a lot of mishandling and
Sure.
not a lot of oversight.
What's also what is this the 50s?
It was the 50s.
Yeah.
It was 55, I think, because I had the thought because it, joking about grandpa's being hoisted, we saw one greaser, one like young guy, and it was the only young guy in the whole thing that we remember seeing. And I thought, where are all the young guys? And then I thought, Korea probably.
Maybe, yeah.
But then I looked it up, and Korea kind of, our involvement in the Korean War ended in, I think, 53. I mean, they might have still been trickling back from that in 55, but
interesting. Or they're all in malt shops or something.
that could be, out, drag racing,
sock hops and
trying to be James Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at sock hops. Definitely.
Everyone in the valley wants to be a pharaoh.
Yeah.
It's American Graffiti.
Okay, sick.
Yeah. Cool. Grandpa's getting hoisted, brother.
Grandpa's being
I love that. That was funny. So my creative output currently, I took this little break that we did with the podcast, and I've been writing a little bit.
Good.
I wish it was more focused because I accidentally started working on two things instead of one thing. But I'm like 13 pages into like this comic idea I've been working on for a while. It's still a first draft, and I feel like the beginning, and obviously there's room to be more efficient with what I have, but It's a good start. It's an idea I've had since like 2015.
Okay.
I've been thinking about forever. I might have talked to you about it.
Is it the astronaut one? Yuri Gagarin?
No, that is also in there still. I have some ideas for that too. Um, there's like 4 ideas that have just sat in there for a while. Um, but I think I have a good lead on this one. It's all the humans are abducted off of Earth, and a specific couple that we're following just has to learn how to live a normal life on a space station,
Oh,
basically.
cool.
Um, but yeah, I got a good start to that, which feels good. Um, been talking to a guy in Portland named Ibrahim Mustafa just about creative stuff, but he's done a bunch of comic books and
Cool.
he's actually written some Bond comic books, which is really cool.
Nice.
And just kind of feeding off of his energy. And then last weekend, my cemetery videos started posting again because I took this month off of posting for them. And this weekend, there's more that have posted, so got that going. I got a couple in the can, a couple edited. That's what I'm doing after this. Probably is more editing.
Cool.
And then we're getting this going again, which is good.
I've been meaning to talk to you. There's this idea for like a season of television that I've had that I think might be something that if we can write it,
yeah,
I think it could be something that we could conceive of, pound out, and then just like shop around and just sell it. Like it might be just something to sell off and get our name. It like not even as something like this is going to propel us into the industry. Just like this might be marketable.
Gotcha.
And we could talk a little bit more about that off air. But
gladly.
yeah, it's just like something because I have the broad strokes and I think it's interesting enough because it's like it's genre.
Of course. We can't get away from it.
I know it's who we are and it's how we think, but I think it's interesting enough that it could be sold to like a prestige television or like any of the streaming services.
Sure. I mean, I'm good with just finishing something too,
True that. So, yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Cool. Night of the Living Andy is my YouTube where that cemetery stuff's happening. I'm also, because of Shogun Assassin and Kill Bill, like working on my alien stuff a little bit more, the videos. I have 2 that are published there, and then one that's like half shot, and the other half is going to involve Brandon wielding a sword in the woods.
Hell yeah.
So I got him amped up for that, you know, taking him to some samurai movies. So I hope that goes well. And that's really just like every summer I've tried to shoot a little bit more. So as we get into nicer weather, I'll be able to get outside again and get some stuff done. And then, yeah, you guys know this podcast already because you're here. But feel free to, give us a rating and tell people about it if they're interested. And I've had a couple more people check it out, which is cool.
Good.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this to start again.
Definitely.
And
we could get
excited for the next section of stuff we do, which I want to say, what are we doing next, man? Are we doing?
I think we could. Do you want to just do another one? Do you want to do another Rushmore?
We could.
Or I was thinking we watch Enemy Mine.
Okay, yeah, that was the other one you mentioned on there.
Yeah, Wolfgang Peterson.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. So I'm looking at June for doing Kiggins Rental for something, maybe. And I was thinking it would be a Bond movie. So I don't want to... I don't know. The timing of that, I don't want it to decide anything, but that's just what's in my mind. What is it? February? We could do a recording next month for Enemy Mine. Okay.
And then, so that puts us... That would be May. We're doing one a month. Is that the plan?
Kind of. Like, that's kind of what I'm looking at. If we can keep that up.
And then that...
So it's February record. I could probably have this out at the end of the month.
Okay.
And then February, March, we would have to try to record maybe Enemy Mine. April, that gives us time. April, May, June. Yeah.
Yeah, we could get going on some James Bond again. And then, is there another section? Like, is that a cohesive?
Yeah. So this next section I'm looking at is like 4 movies.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we can think about it more. But I think this gives us time. So yeah, okay. Our next movie is Enemy Mine.
Yep.
Starring Dennis Quaid and oh my God, what's his name?
Lou Gossett Jr.
Is it Lou Gossett Jr.?
It is.
Okay. I was thinking Arsenio Hall for some reason. Is it not?
No.
Okay. Lou Gossett Jr. And directed by
Wolfgang Peterson.
Wolfgang. There we go. Okay.
Peterson.
My main interaction with this movie is my mom at one point was trying to describe a movie to us that she had seen in the past starring Kurt Russell, or no, starring Dennis Quaid and an alien. And we're like, yeah, it's Enemy Mine. And she's like, it's not that.
I swear it's not.
It's not that. And we're like, okay, well, and we eventually worked it out over like 6 months that she was actually talking about Big Trouble in Little China.
Fuck yes.
And it was Kurt Russell and one of the like guys in the hats at the beginning she thought was an alien.
Because he shoots lightning.
I guess it was like, that was what you were describing?
That's
the
awesome.
Worst description of any movie. Because you literally described another movie.
Yeah.
But okay, that's exciting. I always wanted to see this. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Cold War, 80s sci-fi. Hell yeah.
Basically.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it's my appreciation for this movie is coming from a production design, but also from a different perspective as well. So
cool.
I'm sure. And this is one of my dad's favorite movies.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. So, I mean, this episode, we might as well dedicate it to your mom.
Yep. This one's for you, Ma.
And yeah, thanks for turning us on to Legend.
Yeah. Thanks for lots of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Moms. Cool.
moms.
Well, cheers, man.
Cheers to you.
Another
and thanks
good
love to all the friends and families out there.
Hell yeah.
Friends and family members that listen to this. We wouldn't be who we are without you.
Yeah.
And
thanks for the support, guys.
Thank you. Always.
Yep. Join us next time for Enemy Mine, and give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you then.
Wolfgang Peterson. Wolfgang.
All right, what am I doing?
Whole yellow.